City lights flicker like a Bloomberg screen. Green candles stretch where the Dow used to be. I used to pace holes into the carpet at night. Now my thoughts move fast, but the numbers move right. Cold coffee, warm glow off a midnight trade. Every click feels heavy, but I'm perfectly placed. Funny how pressure turns static to sound when you stop staring down and start owning the ground. I stopped asking permission from ghosts in my head. Let the past stay quiet while the portfolio spread. If confidence is loud, then I learn how to speak. Every doubt got buried underneath last week. I don't overthink, I assemble the picture. Every loss taught me how to pull bigger triggers. Used to second guess every move I'd make. Now I buy things just to remind myself I can. Watch, wrist, car, seats in the sky. Not for the world, just proof I survived. I'm done tearing down what I built from the start. I don't break it apart, I let it compound. Receipts in my pocket like trophies in ink. Paid for the silence I used to overthink. Leather smells new, so does freedom lately. Funny what happens when patience pays me. Friends say I change, yeah, that's kinda the point. You don't stay the same when the pressure's a joint. I was bent but never broke, just mispriced. Now I move like time's finally on my side. I remember small wins feeling heavy as stone. Now big numbers feel normal when I'm alone. If success is a language, I'm finally fluent. Every risk I survive made the next one prudent. I don't overthink, I assemble the picture. Every loss taught me how to pull bigger triggers. Used to second guess every move I'd make. Now I buy things just to remind myself I can. Watch, wrist, car, seats in the sky. Not for the world, just proof I survived. I'm done tearing down what I built from the start. I don't break it apart, I let it compound. Yeah, I've stayed at red long enough to respect it. Learn fear's just tuition if you don't reject it. Every scar's a footnote, every win's a reply. I don't chase the moment, I let it arrive. I don't overthink, I assemble the picture. Every loss taught me how to pull bigger triggers. Used to second guess every move I'd make. Now I buy things just to remind myself I can. Watch, wrist, car, seats in the sky. Not for the world, just proof I survived. I'm done tearing down what I built from the start. I don't break it apart, I let it compound. I don't overthink, I assemble the picture. Every loss taught me how to pull bigger triggers. Used to second guess every move I make. Now I buy things just to remind myself I can. Just to remind myself I can.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where today's a beautiful Wednesday, January the 28th. We're almost through the first month of the new year, but better than that, it is an FOMC day. Happy Federal Open Market Committee meeting day to all of you who celebrate. We're in about 2 p.m. ET, so that's in about 5 hours, I think, something like that, if I'm doing my math right. We're going to be finding out that there's going to be no change to the Fed fund rate. So that's what's going down. 2 p.m. today. We're going to get the results of the FOMC meeting. No rate change, 99% probability. Half an hour after that at 2:30, once again, 30 minutes later, Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, will be giving his public press conference where he's going to come out in a tie that apparently predicts where the market's going. And then from there, he's going to have a prepared speech. And then after that, he's going to get grilled by all the reporters. This time around, it might be a little bit more spicy than normal, given all the craziness with Greenland and the EU and tariffs. The fact that a new Fed chairman is probably going to be announced somewhat soon. It looks like that guy from BlackRock, Rick, is going to still be leading the race, but who knows how that's going to change throughout the day. So that's all the afternoon. I do want to let you know that we're going to be streaming that whole thing, specialty stream, all that good stuff. But you should also know this morning around 9:45, so in about 40 minutes, Trump is going to be speaking. Trump was scheduled to speak at 8:30 this morning. It did get pushed back a little bit. So we have that ready on C-SPAN, ready to go. He's going to be talking with some sort of Treasury Department thing, and it's going to be seemingly related to all those new, I guess, investment accounts for children born between like 2025 and 2028, something like that. And I'm sure beyond that, he's going to get asked questions and kind of talk about whatever. So there's big speech from the president today, big FOMC Fed interest rate decision today, big speech from Powell today. That's all during the trading session. And then as soon as the market closes, who do we have reporting? Meta, aka Facebook, Microsoft, and Tesla, IBM, and Lam Research. So 3 of the top 10 companies in the world reporting today, and then 2 other very impactful ones, kind of setting us up for tomorrow, where we're going to have both Visa and Apple, and obviously Apple, another top 10 company. So we have a lot going on today. We have a lot going on tomorrow. In pre-market trading, we did hit an all-time high in the S&P 500. Gold hit an all-time high. Silver is in the territory of an all-time high. The Russell looking decently strong. The NASDAQ also looking decently strong. In terms of these major things that people, retail traders, like to trade, pay attention to, invest in, the only thing that's looking a little bit weak now, honestly, is actually Bitcoin, at least on a relative basis to everything else, especially other commodities. But in terms of equities themselves, the AI related chip plays are looking really good. I know I've talked about this a little bit, but it's not really the most popular play. ASML, that is the company that makes the machinery for the chip designers such as TSM. And ASML, I believe it's a company out of the Netherlands, I want to say. I believe it's a company out of the Netherlands. Once again, makes super high-end machinery. They just reported, and it is gapping up to another new all-time high. So really, the entire AI chip world is still going higher and higher. So this morning, if you look at SMH, if you look at Soxel, those ETFs, they're up. If you look at the individual names, obviously ASML, but then if you look at the chip designers, NVIDIA, AMD, Avago, Micron, everything is looking real good today. So should be a pretty exciting day for me, just from the get-go. I want to let you know that I personally don't like to trade on days like these. I looked at my history of trading specifically on FOMC days, and it's 50-50. It's not like I always lose money, but what I don't like about these days is my wins and my losses are like 5 to 10x the average value of my wins and my losses. It's when I win big. When I lose big. And I just don't really want to put myself at a 50% risk of losing big today. So generally on most 0 DTE, sessions and contracts, I'll sell some premium. On days like this, I would actually say mathematically it's silly to do that because none of the premium value is going to decay until after 2 p.m. So if you sell calls, if you sell puts, if you're bullish, bearish, neutral, something like that, you're not going to get the vol decay until this afternoon. So you're just kind of sitting there on something that's not really changing. So I'm not a fan of that. And when it comes to futures, I don't mind doing an early morning trade, obviously on my Apex, TPT, Lucid, something like that. Maybe just to get in a trade day, a little scalp here, but I really don't like to be involved in it later in the afternoon. Now, obviously, these are just my own thoughts and opinions and some things I've done to, protect myself from myself. If you have a particular edge, if you crush these types of days, do not let me stop you. I'm just kind of letting you know my own thoughts, my own opinions on it. But just because I have my thoughts and opinions, I'm not saying it's at the end all be all. We all look at the market differently. We all have a different personality, different risk tolerance. So if you're like, no, these are my days, and I wait for the announcement, and I wait for the first move, and I faded, or I wait for the first pullback, and then I go with the moves. Hey, if you have proven to yourself that you have something that is net profitable, hey, I implore you to have at it. So don't let me get in the way, but it's going to be a big day. Like I said, we're streaming this morning, the normal show, Trump speech. Later on this afternoon, we're doing a whole nother stream. So make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you get the notification when we're streaming again this afternoon. The other big announcement is I think I got 23 emails of people saying, Matt, I was not able to get into the new Goonie Trading Discord with the free month Davos. So I know it's for one day. If you use the code FOMC, this is it. But as like, I just can't keep doing this. It doesn't really make sense from a business perspective. But the fact that I got 23 or 24 emails, even though I told people it's going to be ending, this is your one opportunity. It ends today. FOMC, I believe it's good until midnight tonight. So FOMC, when you're checking out on Stripe, will give you an entire month for free. If you like the service, if you want to stay in the Goonie Discord, great, keep your subscription. If it's not for you, okay, no harm, no foul. Cancel your account within the first month and you're never going to get charged. Once again, you have to do it within the first month. You're going to get 4 weeks. 4 weeks of just ripping it, and within 4 weeks of trading, you should find out if you want to be a Goonie or not. And then after that, if it's not for you, I understand, just make sure to cancel your account and you're not going to get charged. There are no refunds. But once again, that first free month, just put in the code FOMC. FOMC will get you in. And you know what? Let me bring this up. I want to see if we could actually shout out the first person who's going to sign up today. What is today? Today is the 28th. I want to see if we can, do I have to reload it? I just want to know who's going to be the fastest person on the draw today. Does it upload in real time or do I have to refresh it myself? It looks like, yeah. Villis, that is such a fucking cool name. Villius is maybe how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure. But hey, man, if that's you, I think you were the first person to sign up with the code FOMC. So you are forever going down in history. But anyway, folks, this is the only day of it. 1 free month. And then after that, we're not running one, at least for a while, because I have other things that I need to do in the Discord rather than getting people into the Discord. So we have some technical things I want to take out. But just because of those emails, I don't know. I just wanted to see how it's going. Why do you support Trump? I don't necessarily support Trump. I support the things that I agree that Trump is doing. Sometimes he does stuff that I don't support. Sometimes he does stuff that I do support. I think that's how mature, grown people actually look at politics, is you support certain actions and developments that you agree with. And then there's other things that you're like, no, I don't really agree with that. I would never say it's smart to fully support, it would be very, very rare to fully support someone as in you agree with everything they've done, or to fully not support someone as in you fully agree with nothing that they've ever done. That doesn't really make sense. But also, I guess I'm in America. I'm an American. I'm a civilian. Why would I be rooting against my country? Whether I voted for whoever's leading the country or not, or the governor or the mayor, if you're in the area, and even if it's not necessarily your pick, you shouldn't be rooting against them, because you should still hope, hey, I didn't vote for you, but you still hope for the best. I never really understood that. People who are like, I didn't vote for them, and you're almost hoping that they don't do well. Hey, bro, we're still in the country of that person. And I've thought that really ever since I was younger. I just remember people fighting against it and they didn't vote for them, so they didn't want them to do well. Inherently, if they don't do well, that just hurts everyone involved. So I never really understood that. I believe at any level of an election, even if the person wins who you don't like, okay, whatever, bummer, that sucks for you. You should still be hoping that they do the best, because they're going to be doing the best for you, your family, your town, your state, your country. We should all still want it to be done the best. That, it makes sense to me. But I guess that's just my opinion on the case. So let's get rocking with the market. I want to get you guys prepped up for the very, very big day we have. Once again, if you're just joining in right now, Trump is speaking. It's scheduled at 9:45, 15 minutes into the trading day. And then this afternoon, in a specialty stream, we are going to be streaming the Fed interest rate decision and also Chair Powell's speech. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern. So right pretty much at the end of the trading session. So we're going to put a pin in that for now. But I just want to let you know, all this craziness, all this chaos, this volatility, it's all happening pretty much at new all-time highs. S&P 500, new all-time high yesterday. And actually in pre-market trading, we were able to, once again, pre-market trading, hit a new record high. So that's kind of exciting. At one point, the SPX was above 7,000. NDX, which is the actual NASDAQ, it's looking strong. Didn't hit an all-time high, but obviously looking pretty good. And then the Russell, similar situation. It's looking strong. Recently hit an all-time high, taking a bit of a breather right now. Gold hit an all-time high already this session. Silver is not far away from a new all-time high. And the only thing, as I alluded to, that's On a relative basis, a bit weak is Bitcoin. If we're just looking at basically December until now, that's the only thing that's a little bit weak. But individual equities, ASML is gapping up really good earnings. Meta's reporting tonight. I like the announcement they had yesterday about some of these new premium subscriptions that they're doing for, I believe, like Instagram and WhatsApp. Microsoft, it has been getting beaten up, showing a little bit of strength. Tesla's reporting. Actually, all three of these are reporting after the market closes. Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla. If you are involved with any of them, trading, investing, please pay attention. Once again, earnings after the market closes today. Tomorrow we have Apple. So some of these are looking strong. Some of them are recovering a little bit. But this morning it's semiconductors that are looking really good. ASML is looking awesome. AMD looking pretty good. NVIDIA looking pretty good. Avago is looking pretty good. SMH, which is the ETF for this sector, is gapping up to a new all-time high. Soxl, SOXL, is the leveraged ETF for the semiconductor sphere. So basically, the AI trade is alive and well. So just wanted to point that out to everyone. Hang on, my producer's saying something. Let me just make sure I'm not missing something important for the show. Okay, cool. We are looking good. Let me go back to the market. Oh, question for all of you. For the first time in about like a year or two, I made some pretty dramatic changes to my stream, as in like the settings for my streaming software. Is it coming through clear? Can you see everything perfectly? Can you hear everything perfectly? And maybe a better question is, can you actually see things better than you used to be able to see things? Because I was battling with it for like a legit hour this morning to get the exact like optimum setup. So I guess my first question is, can you see and hear everything? And then my follow-up question is, can you see this like in a more clear, crisp way than normal? I guess like if I go to like, maybe let's go to the 1 minute just so you can see, is it coming through with better color? Is it coming through with better clarity? Because that was the goal, obviously, to make things look just a little bit easier for everyone to see, just because sometimes we're obviously zoomed into very specific numbers. It looks good. I can see through you. Yeah, it's good. You fix it by putting on a 70-inch TV, easy peasy. Everything is okay, looks better. Yes, see, very clear. I see no buffalo. Sure, I put on a green shirt. I'm hoping that the green shirt helps us all green today. That 440 looking good. So not only I did that, but I also believe that I lowered the differential in terms of the delay. So if I switch myself to over here, you can check your clock against my clock right here in the bottom right. And you can see like when my clock, I don't know, hits 9:18 and see what the differential is on your clock. But I did everything to also lower the delta between the stream lag, basically. I try to get it as close as we can. Of course, just because of the nature of technology, there's going to be a slight delay. But I think previously it was around 20 seconds. It should now be around 10 or even less. So I did that as well. So the delay should be less and the quality should be better. Previously, I think it was over 20 seconds. It looks like some people on Rumble are around 6 seconds. Ubuk, mine was sync hit. So you're just in here live with me. You're like, dude, I'm in the room with you watching it live. Went from 20 to 7. Well done. Okay, that was worth. Okay, cool. So, cool. If there's any issues, like, dude, right now my computer's buzzing, dude. The bit rate, we are pushing through this system. So I'm happy that it's working. Please, if you see drop frames or anything like that, let me know and I'll attempt to fix it. But the goal is to make it look a little bit more crisp and also to lower the lag. And I think I'm optimizing basically my own GPU to make this work. So I think we are looking good. Like I said, if something comes up, if you're seeing big issues, let me know. But for those of you on Rumble and for those of you on YouTube, which literally, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. That's the only two places I stream to. You should, if your system can handle it. I believe we are pushing out at 4K. So I know some of you prefer 1080, maybe you're on mobile or something, but for those of you on a computer or on a TV, there should be an option for you to go even higher than 1080. I should be pushing out at 4K. So if you have that, if you can handle it on your end, you might have the ability to kind of up my stream and be able to see even more. So I just wanted to toss that out to everyone. The 440p 60 is looking real good. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're at the 1440. What kind of car do you drive now? A RAV4. Very specific question, but I love my RAV4. It is awesome. It's the most popular car in America. You know me, just a basic bitch driving the most normal car in America. Okay. I think we are good. All right. Thank you. Like I said, if any issues come up, let me know. But let me also do my job. S&P 500 futures climb ahead of Fed decision major tech earnings. Yesterday, we clocked a new all-time high. Everything but Bitcoin is looking pretty strong. And early morning, we were looking also really good. We're coming back a little bit, but we're pretty much just at the record value that we saw yesterday. Tech is looking even better. Look at that gap up. Yes, today, that is something that you might want to consider. Obviously, QQQ currently trading at 635.26. The high from yesterday is 632, which means you have a $3 downside gap fill. So please be cognizant of that. Am I playing it? No, because it's an FOMC day, but maybe that is something that you might be interested in at some point. So I just want to point that out to all of you. And it's not just equities. Gold hits record above 5,300 as Trump dollar comments aid rally. The dollar is getting murked. It is getting curb stomped. The dollar is getting destroyed. Silver's retail traders' new obsession as record numbers bet on rally and on a crash. Hey, if you get on the right side of even the smallest movement in the world of silver, you're making a bunch of money. If you're trading it, Godspeed. You're a degenerate. You have a special place in my heart. It's not really my cup of tea. I don't really trade those. I'm invested in it, but I don't really actively trade it. I see in chat that some of you guys are trading it on the likes of Apex. You're trading it on the likes of Take Profit. If you are trading silver contracts, you might think that NQ is wild to trade. Trading silver, it is insane. It is more than high octane. It is just pure methamphetamine. So if you're choosing to engage in that, I 100% wish you the best of luck. And I hope you hit eye-watering gains. But right now, obviously, these metals it's the story of the year thus far because it just keeps going and going and going. I mean, right now we have gold, the gold year-to-date return. Remember, we're only 28 days into the calendar year. Gold's already up 21% and silver's already up 59%. Please, really take a second to understand that. We are 28 days into the year, not even trading days. I'm talking calendar days. And silver is already up 59%. So that just shows you the insanity, the volatility, the FOMO. I think obviously at a certain point, it's going to take a considerable hit, probably give back at least 50% of this rally, but you never know how big the rally is going to be beforehand. I'm not saying that this is the top. I wouldn't try to make that prediction whatsoever. So whatever you're doing, like I said, I beg of you, be careful. If it goes a bit in your favor, please take your risk off the table. And if you have a runner, well, especially in the world of trading futures, especially on silver, you're going to have a lot of the magnitude of the return is going to be a huge amount because those contracts, I think the tick value is $75. It is absolutely insane. Let's see what Bloomberg had to say on this morning.
James Steele of HSBC writing, gold remains supported by geopolitical risks and may rally further if the dollar weakens again. James joins us now for more. Jim, good to see you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. What a turnaround of this story the last 4 years or so, this rip-roaring rally. What's aiding the new leg, the fresh leg of this leg higher?
Well, in all the time that I've been covering the gold market, the same 12 or 15 factors drive it. The trick to analyzing it and trying to figure out the direction is which of those is in the driver's seat. And in the last few years, geopolitical risk has risen to the top. And I think if you look at we've done studies on the geopolitical risk index and the correlation. And what we found in the last few years is that unlike periods before, gold would give back the gains it made on a particular geopolitical event. Now it's not. It's retaining a good portion of them. So then it goes up again when the next event occurs. And that's why we've been able to get above 3,000, above 4, and now above 5.
Is there something about the changing character of those geopolitical risks? Can you pinpoint something and say, it was Russia, it's what happened there, and because of that, there's a new floor for gold?
Well, it was kicked off by the invasion of Ukraine. This current leg of the rally dates back to 2022. With the invasion of Ukraine and subsequently very heavy central bank buying later that year associated with those geopolitical risks. Now, since then, we've had a number of other incidents and, pick the one. We go from 1 to the other. So we don't seem to have, there's Iran, there was Venezuela, there's Ukraine. And without putting too much emphasis on any one of them, I think it's the string of events and the cacophony of them that has kept the risk level high and sent money into both a hard asset and a safe haven asset, and that's gold.
So where do we go from here? We're past $5,000 a troy ounce, which many people were expecting us to get through at the end of this year. We're not even at the end of January. How much higher can it actually go?
Well, that's right. And we had said a while ago that gold would get to $5,000. It's done that, as you pointed out, very early in the year. We're now looking, and then we've looked at 5,500 in our latest research, but that is also quite close. So you've got to take into account, I mean, this near parabolic moving gold does invite volatility.
We're seeing
and
huge
it does invite
volatility spikes.
Profit taking on any positive news that might come out, be it on any one of a number of fronts. Something could happen to cool this a little bit. So we are going to see, because we have a lot of new money coming into the market, that's going to be volatile. It's going to be prone to liquidation. So we're going to see frequent pullbacks. So I think rather than pinpointing an exact number where it can go, I think what we've got to be prepared for is increased volatility. We already saw selling into this rally overnight, and yet the market's gone back up again.
All right, there were a lot of great golden nuggets in that, no pun intended. But right now, if you want to know what's going on, like why gold and silver are going crazy, it's because people are looking to store their asset value elsewhere. I mean, when you have the dollar puking like this, literally just the purchasing power of the dollar is going down. And right now, people are choosing to not go to Bitcoin. So you're almost getting the FOMO event of gold and silver, which people are saying, okay, cool. If there's all these geopolitical risks causing the dollar to go down and I want to retain my purchasing power, people are just chasing it. And it's not a new thing. As you can see right here, this chart only goes to 2023, but we have these other countries, Russia, China, loading up on gold, and they've been doing it for decades. And since 2010-ish to now, they've been dumping U.S. treasuries. Once again, another thing driving the dollar down. So we're like, this is not a new phenomena. The newest thing is how it's rapidly going up in price at this exact moment, and it's been doing that pretty much since this mid last year. So with this little bit of frothiness for sure. I just want to remind you that when things squeeze like this in such a short time, they don't stay there. There's going to be some sort of profit taking, and that's not saying it can't come back there in the future. Obviously, I'm still a big supporter of gold and silver just because I understand that the US dollar is perpetually getting debased and it's always going to get devalued. So I understand the thesis for this, but I'm talking about for short-term trading, different from investing. This type of stuff doesn't just squeeze and hold. There's going to be some sort of considerable double-digit pullback at a certain point. Maybe starts today, maybe it doesn't happen for a while. You just don't know. That type of stuff is hard to predict. So if you're choosing to play this as an active trader, I beg of you, as soon as it goes a bit in your favor, move your stop to break even, and as it goes and goes and goes, ride the trend as long as you can. If you're an investor, well, you don't really care about the day-to-day movement. You just don't care because you're going to be in it for the long haul. So just wanted to remind you of that. Oh, hang on. The beyond all of this, and there's going to be movement in the dollar and gold and silver and SPY and Qs and volatility and everything in between, because today we're getting the Fed decision. There is a 99% chance of no Fed change, so no Fed rate change today. Fed is likely to hold interest rates steady, once again 99%, resisting some pressures, so we're not going to get a change there. So what's really going to be moving the market is the speech afterwards. Trump has 4 finalists to run for the Fed. We might find out about this today. We're not 100% sure. Who will Trump nominate for the Fed chair? Well, right now, this guy, Rick from BlackRock, is leading the race, but Kevin Warsh is not far behind. Trump is speaking at 9:45 today in 15 minutes, so maybe we get an update there, but I wouldn't necessarily be holding my breath on that. So today, 2 p.m. FOMC statement. We're going to be streaming that. That's the major thing. Tomorrow, initial jobless claims, PPI in Chicago, PMI later this week. And then after today, after the market closes, we're hearing from Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, IBM, and Lam Research. And then that sets us up for tomorrow with Apple. Right now, chip stocks are looking good. Chip stocks rally after bumper earnings and a report of a game-changing China approval for NVIDIA. Big deal. ASML soars to record high after blowout bookings and a job cut. Chip giant ASML surges 7% as AI boom fuels record orders and upbeat 2026 guidance. Microsoft and Meta earnings put a focus on payoffs from AI spending. Big updates there today. Amazon to lay off around 16,000 corporate employees. Apparently, this got leaked in an email sometime last night. Amazon laying off about 16,000 corporate workers, and latest anti-bureaucracy push once again got leaked in an email. The government is barreling toward a partial shutdown over DHS funding. So you might be sitting there thinking, hey, today, whatever, it's a crazy day, things are going to calm down. No, actually, every day is going to get crazier as we head to this Saturday. We're at midnight heading into Sunday, starting February. The U.S. government is at least partially, most likely, going to be shutting down. So another thing to pay attention to for obviously the remainder of this week and also next week. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all, play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right. I know you D-gens want silver up, so what else do you want on the screen today? What else can I put up here for you guys to pay attention to? ASML's up a decent chunk. What else do you guys possibly want? Here, let me scroll down a little bit just so we can get a bit more... see what some of these equities are doing. The biggest gainer I'm seeing, ASML. AMD's up a decent chunk as well. How's the world's number one stock? NVIDIA's up 1.3. What are the main tickers? You got Tesla. Tesla's moving a little bit over here. More than happy to switch this stuff out, obviously. How is small cap is up. Look at the Russell. It is ripping. That's probably, look at this. SPY's ripping, Russell's ripping, silver's pushing, gold hit an all-time high. This is just the frothiness we've come to enjoy and love on FOMC days. Actually, the only thing I'm seeing red right now is Palantir. Only thing red right now is Palantir. So lots to chit chat about. The first thing I need to let you know is if you are in the Discord, I just was able to lock in how many of my positions? Status completed. All of mine just locked in. All right, hang on very quickly. Sorry if you're on stream, but let me just, so all three of my swing plays were able to hit their profit target right at market open due to obviously theta and just the slight gap up in the market. In the meantime, hang on, I'm working as quickly as I can just to take these three screenshots. But if you are in the Discord, I currently have no swing plays on. All profit targets have been hit, and I am working to post it as quickly as I can, just so you guys know. Just trying to be, I guess, as transparent as I can about all of this. And not mad at all about locking in my profits before the craziness of FOMC. Where is it? Swing trades. All right, I'm putting all three in right now. All three in. All current profits locked in. Now flat. All right, that is a nice way to start the FOMC day. Locking in some profits, taking risk off the table. I'm seeing some nice gains across the board. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Once again, if you are in the Discord, it is posted right there. Hang on. Oh, what is this guy's name? Someone's having an issue in the Discord. All right, folks, as I'm just trying to get things ready for the... What the hell is this guy's name? All right. Trying to get things ready for the Trump speech. Okay, where are we at? That's getting going. S&P 500. Here are the key levels, as I normally do, and this is something in the Discord. Actually, I'm going to show you guys that in a second, but I always mark out the previous high, the low, and the closing value. That is the green, the red, and the white. The white box is the transition zone, and then the yellow horizontal lines are the key levels in terms of where we see big money position. This morning, obviously, key technical, psychological, and gamma level right at 7,000. Surprise, surprise, where are we battling it out? Right at 7,000. So if the bulls can hold this, that's a big win. Top of the transition zone. From there, I'm looking at 7,025, and from that, 7,045. If the bulls cannot hold this, I'd be looking for the downside gap fill at 6,989. Once again, there is a downside gap fill on the S&P 500 and on the NASDAQ. If that doesn't hold, you have a little bit of a transitions area, like the middle of it, I suppose, at 75. And after that, I'd be looking down here at 50. So obviously the bull case was the first, the bear case would be the latter, and we'll just kind of wait and see how this plays out. I do once again want to repeat my personal opinion of exercising extreme caution today due to the fact that it is an FOMC type of a day. These days get crazy. For me, I, in the past, have tried to sell premium on these days, and it's just really not a smart play because vol doesn't decline until this afternoon. So if your idea is, oh, I'm just going to sell some premium and hopefully we just don't go much of anywhere until the FOMC announcement, you're not going to get that decay that you are looking for. So for me, I mean, I actually even already put it in the Goonie Trading Discord that Piper's not firing today. It just, I don't turn it on FOMC days. And then in terms of my own accounts, I just do a little scalp trade on my futures accounts to get in a trading day. For those of you familiar with whatever it is, Apex, TPT, Lucid, FFN, any of these, it is an aspect of the game is how many trading days do you have. So sometimes I just do a quick little scalp here to lock in a trading day. But speaking of that, it does look like my data got disconnected. So let's, what is going on? It looks like actually all of my data simultaneously got disconnected. So that's a bit of a bummer.
Order filled.
Well, that's not good. Why is it yelling order filled? Let's see. I think my data, is anyone else coming back? It worked for a second. I don't know if it's just lagging. My FFN is starting to, it's frozen for me. But I mean, as you can see, I just did one little scalp trade. I locked in like one tick or something like that just to count the trading day. If early this morning, oh, it's been down, there's a problem, trade of 8 is down, trade of 8 is down, my data has been frozen too. Read the comments, Math. Well, I thought my FFN was rhythmic. What if I just leave my FFN connected? Would that fix things? Because this is a different, that one should be different. I wonder if it's going to work with just FFN. It worked for a quick second there. I know it's a bummer for all traders when data goes down. It's just frustrating to have to deal with that. But if there were a day for data to go down, this would be one of the better days for it to go down. Like, and I'm being completely honest like it, because I just don't think there's much of an edge trading on days like today. I just find it's like really, really high octane, lots of big wins, lots of big losses. But I find that I really don't mind skipping these types of trading days. So I understand that that's still frustrating. If you're trying to trade, you're trying to trade. So I'm not trying to belittle that by any means. But for me personally, I already got in my scalp trade. I did it early this morning. I went for one tick. I got my one tick trade, and then I'm just moving on with my life. So I am seeing data come across in the bottom right over here, but I'm not seeing data populate on my charts for some weird reason. So let's just give this a second and see how it shapes up. With respect to the overall market, let me go to the 1 minute. This data is obviously working, so that's nice. Remember, there is a downside gap fill still in play on SPX right here. You're playing it down to yesterday's high. It's pretty apparent right there. You can see it on SPY, downside gap fill to 696.53. On the Qs, there's a downside gap fill to 632.04. There is a downside gap. There's a downside gap fill on all of these, on SPY, QQQ, and on IWM. So obviously, please pay attention to those. There's a very high odds chance that at some point in today's trading session, we fill the downside gap on SPY, on QQQ, on IWM. Am I saying it's guaranteed? No, I'm just saying it's high odds. That's not a guarantee. It's just more often than not, it will get filled, especially on an FOMC day where you have the announcement during the trading session rather than before the market has opened. So if you care about these, please just mark them out on your chart. It is good to know. And a lot of people do like to identify those as potential dip buying regions. So maybe just something to consider on the day. Trump should be speaking pretty soon. I see he just posted on True Social. Let's see if this is anything that impacts us. Why am I so short today? What is this? What do we have? The S&P 500 just hit 7,000 for the first time ever. America is back. It is, but remember, the only reason we're going up is not because of strength. It's because the dollar is weakening. So if the underlying thing of how you value something, we're valuing it in the dollar is getting weaker. So inherently, for it to retain the same value, when the thing that you're measuring it in is weakening, it has to go up. So it's kind of like a mathematical sleight of hand. You could look at it that way. You could look at it inflation adjusted. And I know that the number on the screen is showing the highest value we've ever been at. But when you consider what's going on the dollar, when you consider what's going on with inflation, on an inflation adjusted basis, on a dollar strength adjusted basis, we are not at an all-time high. So I know the nominal value is the highest that we've ever seen. So it's kind of has that like shock and awe factor of like you look at your account and it's like the biggest number you've ever seen. But remember, it's only the biggest number because the way we're valuing it in US dollars is actually getting incredibly weak. Like you just hear, I'll go to the weekly view. Ever since we kind of peaked in September of 22, ever since then, the thing we're literally valuing the whole market in US dollars is collapsing. So if that's getting weaker, the overall market needs to go higher just to retain the same value. So I know that's like a little bit strange and not many people speak about it that way. Maybe you hear about it in an inflation adjusted terms, but it's not as impressive as it necessarily sounds. What is impressive is the fact that so many people are leaving the dollar to buy gold and leaving the dollar to buy silver. But hey, don't let me get in the way of a hot topic Truth Social Twitter post right there to make it sound like it's good when from a math standpoint, from an economic finance standpoint, there's a lot more going on. It's one of those things that you need your underlying like asset portfolio to go up just to retain your same purchasing power. It's crazy our president doesn't comprehend this. Oh, he 100% comprehends it. Whether you do or don't like Trump, he's a smart guy. In fact, I would argue that with any person who's ever ascended to whatever level of politics. That doesn't mean I've agreed with every politician ever, because there's no correlation between intellect and morality. But the only way to get to that level is you have to have a pretty high IQ and a very, very high EQ. He understands it. He's running a multi-billion-dollar real estate empire. If someone were to understand inflation and interest rates and the value of the dollar, especially because he does international business, he gets it. But folks, this is part of the show. This is part of the show. Like, this is what you do to get the people who voted for you who don't understand that to still support you, to still sound good. It's one of those things of don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. He is adult. He doesn't understand tariffs. If you think that, you are just gratefully underestimating the person you don't like. So and you could do it, like whatever, but I mean, as an adult, some of the biggest missteps you're probably ever going to make is because you're underestimating other people. Is he the guy with the highest IQ in the world? No, probably not. There's only one of those people. But to say that they're dumb, that's just wrong. It's actually impossible for you to be dumb. Like, let's just say, whatever, you have every person in America and you have that distribution of IQ, distribution of EQ. If you're on the back left side, if you're in the bottom 50% percentile, you are not going to ascend to really any of these levels. It's actually truly impossible. But because you dislike them, if you think somehow it's possible, I mean, I'm not saying I was by any means the biggest fan of Biden, and I understand he had severe cognitive decline near the end of his presidency, but still, just because I didn't I guess, align with him on a lot of the things that he decided to do. And I thought he was just another run-of-the-mill career politician. Same thing with Pelosi. She's getting older now. There's obviously mental decline. But just in general, if you're comparing them to the world average, if you're comparing them to the American average, they are smarter than the average person. That doesn't mean that they're by any means more moral than the average person, but you're severely underestimating the person you don't like if you're just calling them dumb because you don't like them. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Is the stock market going up because the dollar's going down? It's part of the reason, for sure. Like, there's no such thing as like a vacuum in the world of trading here. Like, there's no specific, like, this is exclusively the only reason. For example, another reason right now is that we're getting very good earnings out of the world of companies related to the AI trade. ASML, the machine creator for that particular world, pretty much has a monopoly on it. There's like one of two. It just gapped up to a new all-time high. So the dollar is weakening. The AI trade is still alive and well. We're probably going to be getting 2 Fed rate cuts this year. That's another thing to consider. The market is a little bit excited about who the next Fed chair might be, because it might be a dude who really just embraces quantitative easing. In the long term, it's going to continue to debase the dollar for sure. But in the short term, at least, we're all going to see bigger numbers on our screens. Biden was not smart. He was a useful tool for the actual smart, but also evil people. I don't agree with that. Once again, like, if we're just defining smart as in the top 50% of people in America or in the world, as in like you're just on the right side of the bell curve, like that's it. You don't get to be president of the United States without having that. Like, he probably, like any of these people, to be a senator, anything like that, you probably have an IQ that's at least 1 standard deviation higher than the mean. Once again, that doesn't mean we have to like them. There are really, really horrible people out there who have high IQ, who have high EQ. A lot of people abuse it. They're abusing the dumb people that are around them. But once again, if you think, well, now it's a little different, because I bet if we gave Biden currently an IQ test, it would be lower. Like, obviously people age out of their prime. Like, Trump has aged out of his prime. If you think your brain is working as well at the age of 80 as it did at 30, well, no, like, I'm 30 now, and I even fully, like, I deeply believe my brain was working better when I was in college. Like, I do. Like, as you get older, that's life, folks. It's what happens. So I'm saying that because obviously if we gave Biden an IQ test now, well, obviously there might be severe mental decline, but I'm talking like in the 90s, early 2000s, when he was whatever position he had. Like, no, he could speak well at one point. Like, that's just how it works. Like, he was smart. That doesn't mean I like him. Speaking of that, I believe Trump might be popping off soon. Let's see. Who do we have here? We have Kevin O'Leary, private equity and venture investor. So let's see what's going on. Trump should be on soon.
What I love about this is it's better than Social Security. It really is.
Almost everything.
This is a way for the country to heal itself and make sure every one of its citizens has a foundation.
Fun fact,
to
I met him.
on.
He's one of the shortest individuals I've ever met.
As I like to say.
And I've met children.
And I would have said to every grade schooler, supercalifragilistic
Cardi B is speaking soon?
Even
Hell
Mary Poppins
yeah.
loves
That's what
this
we
policy. Need. She spoke to me this morning about it, said this is absolutely fantastic. So I applaud the administration, and I think what I like about it the most is I can't find anybody, red or blue, that doesn't like this idea. And I think what will happen with it is it's going to spring forward some even better ideas. Let me give an example as an employer. I invest in many, many companies. Instead of just giving a bonus to my employee, which I do every year and many companies do, why not go beyond that and invest in their family by giving that child a piece of that bonus or even more? I think that's a beautiful way to support not just an individual, but their entire endeavor to grow and be successful. You can tell I've got a lot of emotion about this. I love this idea so much. I really do. And I intend to do whatever I can to support it and get the message out there, because I can't find anything wrong with it. And I love it when people can help themselves and not just rely on government.
All right.
Thank you.
Is that coming through clear? Can you guys see that?
Ladies and gentlemen, please
Matt, I
welcome
decided
our
to be a goody
panelists
degenerate
for
since
Catalyst
credit
for
spreads
Change.
overnight start today. Thank you for
CEO
teaching
of
everything you know.
Altimeter
Your boy
Capital,
Slick,
Brad
congrats, man.
Gosler,
Super happy you crushed that.
Chairman and CEO of Dell Technologies, Michael Dell.
Michael Dell's like the first billionaire who kind of got this going and did the first big investment of like 6.2 or 6.25 billion or something like that with his wife.
Well, clearly, Michael, you like this idea, I think, right?
I love this idea. You know, Brad talked to me about this first in 2021, and I immediately
Trade of 8 is
loved
back.
the idea. You know, we know that the most important thing a country can do is invest in its people, especially its children. And for all the reasons that you mentioned, I'm
It
sure
looks
we'll
like it's
get
working
into
for
more of
me.
the details. Totally love the idea.
Brad? The brain trust of this, where did it come from?
Well, first, it's great to be here, and it's pretty extraordinary to be here with my partner and dear friend, Michael. You know, I grew up a poor kid in Indiana.
You seem to have done okay.
In rural Indiana. And I watched my dad lose everything in 1979. And so I know a little something about starting with nothing. And when this president ran for office, he said, my agenda is the Main Street agenda. The 50 million families that have been left out and left behind, that are disconnected to the American dream. And so when we were coming out of COVID in 2021,
Order filled.
I had a conversation with my kids around the kitchen table and showed them the accounts I had set up
It's not-
for them at birth. And my son Lincoln, who's here today, asked me a very simple question. He said, what about all the other kids? And we talked about the wealth gap in
It's
the country.
not showing
We
my
talked about the
trades at
challenge
all.
of growing up with nothing.
It is on the
And then
FFN
he turned to
accounts,
me and said, well, what
but
are you
it's
gonna
not
do
showing it
about
on the Apex accounts, even though I just
and
traded
that
on
started
the
us on a
Apex
journey.
account.
Around founding the Invest America Foundation, the Invest America Act, but it would never have happened without the courage, without the partnership of Michael and the courage of this president. That's where it comes from.
I don't
It comes
understand
from
if
a
I'm
love of
actually
country
trading or not.
and an
Because it
understanding
did
that
execute
we're
the trade over
losing
here on
that connection to
FFN,
the
but
American
not
dream,
on
and that
anything
stops
else.
today. Today and forevermore, every child born in America becomes a shareholder in America. Every child gets an investment account at birth.
Canceled.
It'll be seeded with $1,000, but families, moms and dads, philanthropists,
Order
the greatest
filled.
philanthropists in the country, and they all want to
I'm
contribute.
nervous
And states
about
and
what's going
corporations.
on.
You're going to hear much more about that today. And so you get that little snowball that Warren Buffett talks to us about. You get it rolling at age 0. These kids will have $50,000 at 18, $200,000 at age 30, $1 million at age 55.
I'm gonna
and
disconnect
they
and
own
reconnect.
control it.
Something
They
was
learn
weird
about
there.
finances. So I mean, don't get me on the soapbox.
Order filled.
You know, this has been my life, and
Twice
it's
as much if their company matches the government's contribution, which many great companies have already contributed.
I think it's a
said they're going to
wonderful
do that.
idea. You know,
I
Michael,
have
be
no idea,
specific, 'cause
folks.
Many people don't understand how is it.
I
that
went
this
flat on
grows.
everything to protect
It's
myself,
going
but
into
I don't
the
know.
S&P 500
It worked on
index,
FFN because
the
that's my
engine of
rhythmic
America.
connection. But the
And in a
trades,
very
even though I
inexpensive
used the
way,
lead account
most
as
people,
Apex,
and
it didn't
as
go
I've
through.
learned, because of the lack of financial education,
Something's weird with
early
Trade
age,
of
don't
8.
understand there's a difference between just putting money into a savings account and doing this. Explain that a little bit. What's inside? What's the engine that makes this work?
Well, the engine
Let
is
me know
you're
if it starts working
investing
for you
in
folks.
The great American companies. And-
Including yours.
including ours, but essentially it's the S&P 500, and those are
Honestly, I love this
500
idea of getting
largest, most successful
people involved
companies
in the market
America,
earlier in
and,
their life.
You know, the equity in those investments, you know, has proven to be a fantastic investment over time. I believe certainly markets will fluctuate, but you know, over a 10, 20-year period, these accounts are likely to grow quite substantially. And more importantly, let's understand that if you don't have any capital, there's no reason to learn anything about it. And one of the hopes here is that
now you've got skin in the game.
We got skin in the game. We've got a reason to want to understand how companies work and how capitalism works, and to learn about those things. We already have about 2/3 of the states require some amount of financial literacy, hopefully all of them. And yeah, when you're in 7th grade, all right, let's look up your account and see how much you have. You see, you've got
that's
a little
awkward.
bit of all of these great companies. It's compounding,
subscribers.
it's growing. When I was 8 years old, I had the great opportunity.
Trader's
to get a
Paradise is the
passbook
worst
savings
at it,
account.
though.
Okay, and I had a few dollars in there.
His is more
and
evident.
You'd go there and you'd give them another $1, and they'd stamp the book, and kind of learned about compound interest. I had the also great situation. My mother was a stockbroker. Okay, so she was teaching me about investing and about capital, about companies.
You were trading at 8 years old.
Mine is frozen here.
Pretty much, yeah. So learned about all that from a very early age, and if we can spark that interest in some of the 70 million kids that we have in this country, that will have been a wonderful thing.
So, Brad, that's likely to happen because when you become cognizant of what money is, it could be these days kids get pretty smart pretty soon. They've got a lot of technology on their side. At some point, they'll be able to look at their phone and say, whoa, look at that. Won't that incentivize more interest in understanding what's going on there in terms of financial literacy?
No doubt about it, and it's already happening, right? The problem is it's only happening for a few kids in America. If you're a kid in this country with money, then you come to your parents and you say, hey, I want a Robinhood account. I want to trade my account. These kids, we have great CEOs here of companies like Robinhood and Schwab, et cetera.
Only my rhythmic connection is
these
working
kids
right now.
want to use these phones. The problem is everybody else. And that's the important point here, Kevin. This is not about an account that's going to change the lives of my kids.
Looking
So
good.
My kids were already
will be on their phones. They'll be able to see it.
Every single child in America, all they need to do is claim their account. We need every parent in America to claim the account that we're going to create on the 250th anniversary of America for their child. And to be precise, the money in these accounts for 75 years, the S&P 500 is compounded at 10.2%. This is the greatest economy with the greatest companies in the history of the world. And we're going to make every single citizen a shareholder. That is a transformational change in the social contract, in the promise that we're making for this country. You heard the secretary say, we're in a battle for the soul of America. We are in a battle for the soul of America. It's time to make give everybody the opportunity to share in this upside.
So to claim your account, simply done online, your social security number, that's it, and it starts.
So, the great fortune here is we're attacking this like a Silicon Valley startup in terms of building the app under the great leadership of Secretary Bessent, Luke Pettit, the Assistant Treasury Secretary, who's helping to lead the charge. Joe Gebbia,
Trump should be coming on momentarily.
Actually designing the app on our behalf, and we understand in Silicon Valley you got to remove all the friction. One click. Get your account. We want it as automatic as possible. We want every family to claim this account. And then even more importantly, we want it to be super simple for moms and dads and friends of the family to add $5, to add $10 to Apple Pay. Double click on your phone. And instead of buying that Frappuccino, drop an extra $5 into your kid's account. If you do that every week,
Short
and if you save
Frappuccinos.
$50 extra a week, it's transformational in the lives of your kids. And I'll just leave you with this. We ran a study 2 years ago. Kevin Hassett was one of the people who helped us do that study along with Rob Shapiro. There's a common belief in America that poor folks don't save. But you want to know the truth? Poor cohorts save if they have an account. The problem is that most folks in this country don't have an investment account and they don't have a savings account. We are going to unleash all of those moms and dads love their kids just as much as folks who have money.
Up a good amount.
We're going to unleash the power of them saving on behalf of their kids. And when you combine the power of philanthropists, the power of corporations, but most importantly, moms and dads, birthday parties and bar mitzvahs, right? That $5 or $10 a week, I think that is going to be the most transformational change.
So in that vision, when the child turns 18 and has access to these funds, that becomes the anchor, the basis upon which they build their financial future.
A little bit of
This
selling
account
here.
can be extended, broadened out, maybe more sophisticated, where they buy and sell their own stocks and bonds. It's a financial literacy launch pad in a way, because if you're right, and I'm sure you are, if you don't have an account, you can't do any of this stuff. Now you do. You're basically gifted one at birth. You don't know what it
Spies
is
taking a hit
for the
here,
first
the
36
Delta
months.
Mag
Then
7
somebody starts
turning
pointing
a
to it
little.
and saying, look at this, it's yours. And by then it's grown.
Low or high.
I came to Michael, told him about the idea. But the most important and transformational part about the idea is I said, Michael, this isn't a government program. This isn't coming to bended knee to the government where the government controls the account and then we're dependent, increased dependency on government. It's the exact opposite of UBI. This is the antidote to socialism. The antidote to socialism is
The
more
antidote
capitalism.
to
And I said, Michael,
socialism.
this is a direct giving platform. If we create universal private ownership from birth,
We're battling
Michael,
it out at
will you
VWAP.
invest into those accounts? And tell us a little bit, Michael, about the study that you went through with Susan, your incredible wife, and the Dell Foundation, and the conclusions you came to that are leading a lot of other people to follow.
Some
So
buyers
our
stepping in at
foundation
50
has
here.
been focused on children from the beginning, and we've already, given several $1 billion away, and I would say invested
Struggling
several
at
$1 billion.
VWAP.
And we looked at this program kind of like what you're describing as sort of a platform. And there have been a number of smaller versions of this at states and in other countries. And what our study found was that when a child has an account like this, they are way more likely to graduate from high school, to go on to college and graduate, to buy a home, to not be incarcerated, to be a contributing member of society, and it improves the mental health of both the child and the parent, even with a relatively small sum. And so that is why we wanted to participate in this in a big way. Originally, you and I went back and forth on these discussions, and with Susan as well, and we were like, well, what if we did Texas, and then we sort of said, well, let's just go big, right? And so we said, well, it's the 250th anniversary of the birth of the nation. $250 to 25 million children would cover most of the children that are born between 2016 and 2024, so the 2 to 10-year-olds, because the government's covering the 0 to 2. And we targeted our gift to the zip codes where the median income is less than $150,000. So that, my kids are
So
older
you're
now.
basically providing the bonus round to this. That's what's
The
happening.
bonus
Well,
round.
this is to get them started on their financial journey. And, of course, we have Ray and Barbara Dalio, who have decided to do exactly what we're doing, but in the state of Connecticut. So those kids will get $500. And I think there's going to be other, similar announcements. We've talked to lots of folks.
Let's not be coy here, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Do we have any similar
I'm going to do it in the
announcements?
state of Indiana. We're going to announce that. Coming up
Thank you,
here,
Brad.
my home state. We're going to get all 50
Who's this
states
guy?
in this country. I can tell you this: we have 250 wealthy people in this country who signed a giving pledge, Kevin.
Spy
The
flushed
problem with that is
flow,
they
but
don't know how to
popped
give
right
the money
away.
away. If you're fortunate enough to start a computer business in your college dorm and have it become the most successful computer business in the history of the world, like the guy sitting next to me, how do you effectively? We are the most giving nation in the history of the world. Most of the rest of the world, they protect their wealth, generation skipping trust, dynastic wealth. If you talk to the richest 250
Dynastic
people in
wealth.
America,
You don't hear
they
that
want to
term
give it
every
away.
day.
That is a uniquely American phenomenon. But how do you give it away? Now we're going to cut out the middleman, cut out the charities, that are taking that scrape. Not all charities. Charities are great. But this is a way to directly give to America's kids
Buzz Lightyear
at scale.
made $400 chasing
$5 billion,
gold.
$10 billion, $20
I
billion
like the degeneracy.
from America's
Congrats,
great philanthropists. The Treasury Secretary issued a 50-state challenge. On the 250th birthday of America,
Flow alert
we
right
want
at the bottom
all
there,
50
10:02.
states to have similar programs that get launched. And I will tell you this, because Michael and I are chairing the Giving Committee of Invest America. We're making the ask, and our hit rate is 100%. America's most successful people love the idea of contributing to these accounts. And so stay tuned over the course of the next weeks and months. But we're going to have a big bang come July 4th this year.
And it not only strengthens, these families and these children, but of course it strengthens the
Setting
nation.
my risk.
You brought up a really interesting point, I think, that many people have missed about this program. Beyond just its simplicity, most charities have an expense ratio. They have to. They have infrastructure, reporting requirements, compliance issues. The drag can be as much as 9%.
I'm taking this
10%.
VWAP failure short.
This has
Maybe it works, maybe
zero.
it doesn't. If it
You set
recovers,
it up,
obviously, I'm
no
getting
friction,
out pretty quickly.
It all goes to the child. That's the sheer genius of this.
And importantly, and not to get on the soapbox and sell, but for the philanthropists who are listening and in the room, it's 501c3 deductible, right? You're giving the
Basically,
money away
you're
to
just
America's
saying,
kids.
hey, all rich
There's
people,
no
lower
cost,
your
right? You get the
taxable
deductibility
income.
that the tax code, provides for that. And importantly,
Silver's
right?
popping.
Again, I keep coming back to this. Less than half of the kids under the age or citizens under the age of 40 believe in capitalism. We have a crisis in
I don't know
America,
how you
a
can
battle
not
for the
believe
soul
in
of America.
capitalism. Like,
This is the
there's
antidote.
nothing
This
better.
is a firewall in
The
defense
only people
of
who
free
think there's
markets
something
and
better than
and
capitalism are
democracy.
dumb people who have
And
never
on
studied
the verge of
it
our
at all.
250th birthday. That is the negotiation. That is the social contract. It's not only the right thing to do on a moral basis to get everybody else into the game, but it's
Instead
in the
of paying
best interest
taxes,
of
you
our
can help
country.
pump the market. Exactly.
It's true. It's impossible to find a mistake in this idea. And that's rare these days. On top of that, 100% bipartisan. Who doesn't want to do this?
I mean, that's and Michael can comment to this as well. And I think it's a really important
Free
point.
market capitalism is not really going
Michael
on.
and
That's
I
true.
are-
Like we
are-
have some
are
guardrails,
working with
anti
a lot
like
of governors around the
monopoly,
country.
environment
You
regulations,
already heard
but
from the
that's
state of
fine.
Texas.
I'm not saying it should go
State of Texas has said
completely
they're going to add
unchecked.
$1,000 to all the kids born in the state of Texas. You're going to see a competition among states. Red states, blue states, they're all going to add to the accounts of the kids. Who are
like that,
born in their
state
states, and they're going to
competitions.
do a lot of creative things. Tied to that giving, the citizens of those states. But
I see tons of mistakes.
Michael
LOL.
and I have
Yeah, that's fine.
conversations,
I never said it was
with
perfect.
people
I said
on the,
name something
on the
better.
left and the right on Capitol Hill. I can tell you, when the doors are closed, everybody
Never ever
says,
said
you
it's
know
perfect.
what?
Of
The
course
president
there's
signed
downfalls.
It.
You'd
He
be
deserves
blind
to have
to
his
not
name
see
on the
downfalls.
bill. We support this. We love this idea. It helps America's kids. Obviously, when they walk out in front of cameras, sometimes the story is a little bit
Silver
different.
just got
we have a lot of
murked.
a lot of reasons to have debates
what's
and
going
battles
on?
in this
Silver's
country.
getting
This is one thing
nailed.
we can all agree on.
Brad, the more I listen to
Did
you,
any of
I'm
you catch
thinking
that,
this
or did
is
you get
Social
blown out?
Security doged. That's what happened. It was
Dude,
stripped of all
Silver.
the bureaucracy and made simple.
What is going on with
supporting the
Silver right
individual
now?
And their rights and their dream and their family in a unique
Holy
way
shit.
never thought of.
Yeah, can I say one thing about the Social Security, aspect of this? Because my
Dude,
90-year-old mother,
Silver.
who was just at the National, I'm a Hoosier. She was in Miami with me to watch Fernando Mendoza lead our Hoosiers to a national championship.
I was in Miami watching.
Silver's
Miami
going a
lose.
little
And,
crazy.
But my mom said something to me 3
Are
or 4
you guys
years ago that
okay?
was really important. She said, when they told us about Social Security, they made a sacred promise to us. They said, my mom was poor, working 2 jobs. We're going to take money out of your paycheck, and we're going to save it for you. And when you retire, we're going to give it back to you. Right? That was an evolution to the social contract of America on the eve of the Industrial Revolution.
Dude, look at
that
this.
prevented us from going the way of Weimar Germany.
And how'd that work out?
Okay? Well, the good news is,
Oh, my
it's a
Lord.
promise, I think, that has transformed this country, kept this country together, made this country the greatest country on the planet. However, a complement to that, not a replacement. This president has made absolutely clear Social Security is a sacred promise that must be met and will be met. And we're the richest country on the planet, and we have the capability to do that. However, it's equally important
Trade Evade
that
back
we give
for anyone?
every child a prosperity account. Because too many kids along the way, we shouldn't make them wait until they're 60 years old to feel connected to America. They need to see their dollars going to work for them and compounding on them. And we all know that the social contract is going to have to evolve in the age
Would
of
have been a
AI,
good trade for all of my
right?
accounts, but
These kids
I guess
need to see
only
on their
these ones
phone
are
they have a
working.
little OpenAI and Anthropic and all the new companies that will come of age, because we're going to have disruption from artificial intelligence. It's a lot easier to face those sorts of disruptions that the Industrial Revolution brings or the AI revolution brings when you have skin in the game and you're benefiting on the upside.
Michael, back in '87, you democratized technology by breaking the $1,000 price point at Walmart with what was called back then a multimedia PC. I was there selling educational software. In August, this is just a little piece of history which talks about, you're too shy to say this, but until then, a PC was not affordable by a family. $899 for a Dell computer. You don't even remember the price. And why that mattered, it hit in February of '87. By August, when Michael Jackson wanted to drop his Bad album, the entire software industry had taken up world capacity of CD-ROMs because your machine had a CD-ROM in it. Michael's album was delayed for 2 weeks because of you. That's what happened.
I've been blamed for a lot of things. So I'm used to
it's
that.
Trade Evade. I thought it was
But
only
look,
no.
I
It's
think-
Trade
I think
Evade.
the-
So it's not even
point
really
is
any of
that,
these firms.
in
It's
not that
specifically
many
the data
years,
provider.
We're going to have almost every single child is going to have an account with a reasonably substantial amount of money in it, with the government's contribution, the state level contributions, certainly families and philanthropists contributing, and that over 10, 20, 30 years will make an enormous difference in
Let's
this country.
go,
That's
baby.
really what I'm very excited about.
And it's what I love, whether you're in rural Indiana or rural Mississippi, whether you're in western Texas or you're in inner city
When is
Compton,
Trump taking the stage?
right? Whether
should be
you're in
soon.
Trenton,
Don't forget Alaska.
or Roxbury, outside of Massachusetts, this is the part of America, right? That this president and this administration has raised their hand and said, we've for too long promised that we're going to close the wealth gap. We've for too long promised that we're going to get everybody else into the game. And there's frustration and anger in the country because people don't feel like that promise has been met. And here we have an opportunity, now that is baked into law forevermore. We're changing the game. Every kid in the game of the upside of America, and now the ask of everybody in this room and everybody in America. It's on you now to make sure that every child claims their investment account when we launch them in July. It's on you to contribute $5 to $10 to those accounts and get those snowballs rolling, right? This is not a government program. This is an ownership program, an ownership account by citizens. So claim the accounts, make sure your friends claim the accounts, make sure your schools know about this, your churches and your synagogues know about this, and make sure that, rather than giving the plastic toy on the second birthday, give $25 into the account. It will transform lives. And our KPI, our key performance indicator for Michael and I here, we want every child, right? Not 50% of kids claiming these accounts.
Locked in
We want
1.2.
100% of kids claiming these accounts, and we want to see.
Just to very quickly clarify what I did, I didn't fill in both there because I thought FFN was 50% consistency. It's not. It's actually 40% consistency. So I thought it was 50, which is why I was going for 1.5. As you saw, I pulled the one contract, and then when I saw 1.2. I don't know. I'm trading on so many firms that I have to keep straight in my mind what's happening, what's not happening. But on FFN, it is 40% consistency. So because of that, instead of locking it in at 1.5, I locked it in at 1.2 to not break any of those consistency rules. So Yeah, I'm basically done now unless the other accounts reconnect on the day, because I've maxed these out in terms of the consistency. FFN, the ones without an X, I'm still passing those evals, and then the X is almost a performance account, but I still have to follow a couple of other rules. So yeah, this I guess it's 40%. I was getting confused because Lucid is 50% on the flex. And then, hang on, let me just double check that it's 40%. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's 40%. So there's no advantage for me to continuing to trade because I'm just going for 3K in total profit. And I thought it was 50 going for 1.5, but since it's 40, it's probably like 1.3 something. So I'll just stop it right there. So locked in. These are the only accounts I have access to right now. These other accounts, Trade Evade is having problems. So I could only trade my rhythmic ones, and I locked in 1.1, 1.2K on each of those. You saw the trade. Basically, I just took the VWAP rejection. My risk was right above it. It was with trend. I saw that the S&P 500 delta was taking a bit of a hit. When it vomited like this, I locked in at my first target. Why was that my first target? Well, not to be overcomplicated, but it was literally just the recent low from 936 this morning. Locked in one there. On the bounce back, I double checked the consistency, locked in the other one there when it was at the right value, and now I'm just done basically. If I disconnect this, will this even keep working? Is Trade Evade working for anyone right now? Lucid has no consistency on Sam Fleck. I'm black at 60. No, I'm talking for the eval. Sorry, I should have clarified, JP. It's just because some of my FFNs were evals. The other ones are already funded. So I was worried about the rule for the funded. So I guess FFN, dude, there's so many rules in this world to keep like straight in your head. Looks like we got the 30-minute Orbo to the breakdown to the south side there. Okay. For me, I mean, I'm not trading options today because it's an FOMC day and who knows what's going to happen in the afternoon. And in terms of these accounts, well, hang on. I'm still getting data. I'm still double check your FFX. I believe it's still 3K. I think it's the same target and everything. Yeah, and it's 40%. And keep your best sessions target below 40%. Trade within the allowed hours. Don't exceed contract scale. I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I just need to hit the 3K or something like that. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Unfortunately for me, there's just nothing else to do now. What's weird though is I'm seeing Trade Evade data come across. Is anyone else? Check the dashboard on their website on Trade Evade. I am seeing, hang on, let's see if this data, let's try to connect to Lucid. Let's try to connect to TPT. Let's just see what happens here. The data is still coming across. I did do the one trade earlier today though, and that didn't work at all. Are you guys getting anything? My Trade Evade limit order just went off, but price is not updating. Interesting. I'm a little bit nervous. Oh, I meant for FFM. It's a 2K profit for FFNX and 3K. Is it? Did I mess that up? I thought it was 3K for both. Did I? Oh, I feel stupid. I definitely messed up. Hang on, I'm a little confused. Because the dashboard is not showing it the way it does for the eval. Can anyone confirm for me when you're on an FFNX account, not just FFN, but FFNX on a 50K account, is the goal 2K or 3K? I feel like there's so many rules in this world. Did I mess that up? Because I'm going to feel silly if I did. I'm going to feel real silly if I did. Trump should be taking it is 2K. Shit. So should I lose money on those today? I was the one who explained the realized DD for them a while ago. So, wait, just to clarify, like I should try to lose. Fuck. I guess, like, theoretically, I should try to lose a little bit of money on these, on at least on the FFNX. I should try to get it below 1,000. Well, that's a damn it. Okay. S&P 500 is getting hit. Mag 7 took a little bit of a hit right there at 1017. FFNX, it is 2K, but this just sets the consistency for you to be able to take the payout. Oh, because it's going to convert anyway. So maybe I won't lose, because I see what you're saying, because I think you're good all the way up to 3K. Because I think on FFNX, you just don't want to exceed 3K, because by the time they convert the account, I see what you're saying, JP. So maybe I won't, because if my goal is 3K anyway, by the conversion of the FFNX, because I think they allow you to keep it at 3K. Is that what you're saying, JP? So 2K is the goal for the conversion, but you're allowed that extra 1,000 a buffer. So if I want that extra 1,000 anyway for the payouts, maybe I should keep it, because I can base the consistency off the 3K goal. I think, dude, there's so many rules in this world. There's so many, like, by the time you start dealing with multiple firms just to keep your head on straight, it gets nuts. But anyway, today is craziness, as you could already see from the movement. Super, super easy day, like incredibly easy day to pass these Apex accounts. So if you are looking to take advantage of the 90% off deal, this is the best deal that Apex offers. You could be all in on the eval for like $19. The upgrade fee is $75. So you could be all in for less than $100. It's going to be like $97. So the 90% off, it's very advantageous if you just want to kind of quote unquote degen the test to pass it. And with the movement that we're already seeing in the ES, NQ, and silver, it's going to be easy to pass that test. Code Goonie will get you 90% off. And then for a total all-in cost of 102, so it's $5 more, you can get 20 accounts on Apex and another 5 on TPT. So right now, these are, from a financial perspective, the best offerings. Obviously, Code Goonie will work both on TPT and on Apex. And better than that, obviously, it's still a little bit of money to buy either of these. What you could do for free is join the Goonie Trading Discord. We're redesigning it, so it's the same Discord. We're just making it better. The first batch of people are in there, and I was going to shut it down then, and because there's a couple things I want to develop before like getting even more people in there. But then I got about 23 to 24 emails over the weekend of people saying, hey man, I didn't use the code Davos. Can I still get in? The answer is yes, with the code FOMC, but I want to be clear, there's no extension. Today is the day with FOMC. It might technically expire on Friday, however Stripe has it set up. But like, just to be clear, this code is the final one for a little bit, just because there's other things that I need to be doing just to bring that Goonie Trading Discord to the next level. So if you want in, once again, it's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. The code FOMC, when you're checking out at the end, will give you an entire month for free. The reason I'm doing this is because I want everyone to not have any fear of like, did they risk money? Like, is it for them? I want you to test it out for a month, see if it's for you. If it's great and you like it, great. Stick around. It's for you. And the first month was free. If it's not for you, just cancel your account within the first month, and it never costs you anything anyway. So I want it to be like a riskless opportunity for you guys to test drive it for about a month. And to kind of explain, I suppose, what you get, I could show you right here. So before you even sign up, I could do a little bit of a breakdown. Of course, we have the welcome message. To get full access, all you have to do is react to this emoji. We have a bot system. That's all the breaking news. So you could just leave the alerts on in there. I have an automatic system that gives you a breakdown of kind of momentum of the market. So for example, today, 8:23, I manually posted this. No signal produced, FOMC. Let me just cover this up for a second so you could see more. You could see yesterday at 10:40 in the morning, SPY, put credit spread, Q, put credit spread, bullish, 4 out of 5 confidence, gave the levels, gave the return. They're not meant to just be arbitrarily copied, but it gives you an idea of the systematic expectations for the day. This is an automated system. Thick trades are my 0 DTE trades. I just kind of I always post the proof of when I get in. So this looks like it was on the 22nd. I got in at 10:43, and then later in the day when I got out at 12:50. So I post my entries and my exits. That's for zero DTE trading. I have a swingers channel where I try to just be as transparent. I give a rundown of how I'm doing. Actually, I need to fill these out. These all just locked in today. You can see how it's going on the month. I show all my wins. I show all my losses. Other members, they post what they're doing. Obviously, someone just made 18,000. That's awesome. We have a trading chat. Everyone's just talking about what's going on. General chat just for a little bit of bullshit. Every single morning before the market opens, I post a pretty extensive breakdown. So you can see from today, I post like what's going on with the gamma structure. I post the breakdown on zero DTE, full chain, the full week, the SPX zero DTE, the open interest, the recent volume, the SPY structure, the Q structure, the IWM. I post what happened in the New York Stock Exchange the previous day. I post the options map for the MAG 7. I post my key levels. I post my exact trading plan. Today I had to post another thing. Sometimes we do some fantasy football. And then in here, there's actually, let me show you up here. If you do decide to join, I highly recommend you start in the Discord guide. But one thing I want to call out is we've have quite a few private lectures in the Discord guide that have already been filmed over the past year. So a ton of education, systematic trading, intro to options, credit spreads, debit spreads, more systematic stuff, Apex stuff, trading strategies. So you can see there's probably already 25 to 30 videos in there in the private lectures. That's all in the guides. Important announcements when we do the giveaways in there. So once again, that just kind of gives you a vibe of it. You could check it out for yourself. If you decide to check it out, I highly recommend you start in the Discord guide because it's going to be able to explain it better than I can. But the point really here is you can get in. Today's the day. FOMC is the code. And after this, it's supposed to be for today, but I think it does technically get extended to the end of the week. But sign up, I suppose, before you forget. It's a freebie trial. And I think it maybe does go till Friday, technically at midnight, or maybe tomorrow at midnight. It's either midnight today, tomorrow, or Friday. I know it doesn't extend it into this weekend because I think it ends at the end of January, technically. But I just want to clarify, maybe in the future we're going to offer it again, maybe not. I know for the short term, we're not going to be doing any specialty codes or anything like that because I do need to put my focus on things in the Discord. So I showed you what's currently there, but there's about 4 or 5 things that in the short term we're going to be adding to it. For example, the way there's the automated piper giving you an idea of the momentum for the day, the automated news bot telling you the breaking news. There's going to be automated systems about momentum shifts, like in the SPY and the Qs of like, hey, bullish breakout, bearish breakdown. So we're going to do that for SPY, SPX, and EX. We're going to do that for NDX, QQQ, and NQ. We're probably also going to do it for the Russell. If there's demand, we could also do it in Bitcoin, gold, and silver. So we're going to have some automated systems of momentum shifts just to give people immediate alerts, especially for day trading. We're going to continue, obviously, the option trading, the swing trading, the day trading. I would say the emphasis is obviously very much options trading and futures trading. It seems like there's good emphasis on day trading, futures, and options. And then there's also an emphasis right now, the current vibe of the community, on some swing trading of options as well. If you're looking for trading of like meme coins or something like that, it's not in there. So like before you sign up, if you're like, hey man, I trade meme cryptos, it's just not really a desire of the community. So I don't want you to go in there and be like, hey man, like this is exactly what we're doing. It's just not. Where do I enter the code? When you're checking out on the final checkout thing, just put in FOMC and apply it, and you're going to see the cost drop to 0. So it's right on the final checkout. There's going to be a coupon code section right at the final part, FOMC, those 4 letters. It's for today. I think just to be honest with you, I think it does expire technically at the end of January. I don't know. I guess I just want to be honest. I don't want to be be like, oh, and like it's still going. I think the way it sets up, I think it lasts until like literally the end of the month. So just want to let you know. What do we have here? MAG 7 taking a little bit of a hit. SPY taking a little bit of a hit. What else do we have going? Tradevate is down. Not risk my pounds on a day where platform issues could jeopardize everything. I continue posting my wins and losses throughout the entire journey to 5 million. Number 1 highest balance so far. No rush. First highest balance. Number 1 highest balance so far. Pure magnitude, yes. His returns have been high, but I think my relative returns are higher. But people more so care about the big numbers. I understand that. Bro, the bags under your eyes are going black and start growing bags themselves. That always makes me feel better about myself. Thank you. Thank you for that one. What do we have here? Resume playback. Are they still talking? Hang on, they're giving me some sort of weird ad on C-SPAN right now. All right, we're waiting to see which way the initial balance breaks.
So this is amazing. Yes, indeed. And I think it's so interesting to look at this retroactively.
Who are these people?
Many Gen Zers in our country, financial literacy was never a part of our curriculum growing up. No one taught us how to file for our taxes. No one taught us how to purchase a home or to invest in the stock market.
Even to fill out a job application.
Absolutely correct. So making sure that our children have this capacity is so important from the education side. But Cheryl, you talked about parenting as launching your children successfully into the world. Are you hopeful that new parents, and this generation of new parents in particular, has the chance to learn some financial literacy along the way with our kids through this program?
Well, I do. I think that this
so.
program is so helpful in that way because, like you're talking about when you were growing up, when I was growing up a long time ago, we didn't talk about money in our house. We didn't have any money in our house.
People really are weird about talking about money.
I'm
happy you guys aren't.
But even to talk about finances, to talk about money was so stressful. And it was stressful because we just didn't have any. So to start an account that has money in it.
You know, this program wouldn't be necessary if certain people just pay their fair share of taxes. Mathematically, that's inaccurate. It's more so we have a spending problem as a government. They take in a ton of taxes. The issue isn't how many taxes are paid. We can focus on that smaller, but it doesn't move the needle. The bigger issue is the trillions of dollars we piss away.
For parents to be able to talk about
that's
it
just
with
an
their
uninformed
children.
comment about how taxes do and don't work.
Every child develops differently at different ages. So as a parent, you can keep connecting with your child when they're 8, when they're 10, when they're 12, and look at the account.
Okay.
Look at
the S&P 500 catching a pretty nice switch
like
in
you were talking about
options.
too,
Right there. Puts are getting sold.
Parents
starting at 10.13.
I don't want to say donate. That's not the right word, is it? Invest, contribute.
Mag 7's getting
even,
hit though.
Like
Something in the Mag
saying,
7 took a pretty big hit at 10.26.
Once you start working, I started working when I was 14. To have an employer invest in that account is very exciting, and it is hopeful. It's the opposite of stressful.
What was this comment? Okay, so billionaires paying less than average Americans in tax is a good thing. Got it. No, they still pay taxes on their income. You don't pay it by unrealized gains. This is what stupid people don't understand. You don't pay taxes on unrealized paper gains. If you're an equity holder in a company and the company goes up by 10%, you don't pay on that because it's unrealized. If you sell it, you pay, which is exactly why Elon Musk 3 years ago, had to pay $11 billion in taxes, the largest single payment of all times. If it's realized, and that's true for everyone, and then that gets into the argument, well, you should pay taxes on unrealized. If you think you should pay taxes on unrealized, you're one of the dumbest fucking people that have ever walked this planet. Truly. If you are sitting there thinking, oh, we should pay taxes on unrealized gains, you are actually fucking retarded. So this is just, you fell victim to classic media. Billionaires don't pay taxes. If they realize it, they pay taxes. That's how this world works. And the fact that honestly, the way they're talking about lack of financial literacy, like literally live right now, you should be the person who signs up for whatever classes they're running because you have to have basic literacy. Like, Jesus, people are so stupid.
Learning from our founding fathers, learning how, if the
Just to clarify, the top 1% in America pay 50% of all taxes. And then by the time you go to the top 10%, it's almost 95 to 97% of taxes. So once again, to reiterate, the top 1% in America pay 50% of all taxes. This idea of rich people don't pay taxes is actually stupid.
Things at that point, because then it changes. Like as soon as you figure out your child, like they're changing. But I think that it's just
I set
another
up a
way
529
to
for my
invest
goddaughter. I
in
put
them
5 months
and
in. She
to
just turned
love
16 balances
our
1%.
country
She
even
doesn't understand
more,
yet, but I'll try
and
to
to be
teach her.
grateful and know
Well,
the privilege
she's young,
that
but
we
she's going to get
have
there,
as
and that's awesome of you to
Americans.
do. She's
My
going to be
husband
better
was
off than most
born
people.
in Denmark, and so he has a very unique perspective.
How would you ever tax unrealized gains?
He's always had
Ask
the American
Elizabeth
dream ever
Warren.
since he was
She's
my
one of the
son's age,
dipshits
and he
pitching
was
it.
a little kid. He wanted to move over here because he's a numbers guy as well, so he understood the opportunity.
What time is Trump speaking? Any moment now.
And so that is very exciting, and accountability as well. Accountability.
He's not Republican. He's just
because
correct.
How I grew up.
This is just
my
facts.
parents got divorced, and my life was a mess. And it's fine. It made me who I am, but I didn't have any kind of foundation to build on. And in the beginning of my life, starting out, I always felt there was a hindrance, and that was I wasn't financially free to do anything. And even after I took out loans for college, I just, you have it on your credit, and then you
Right here. According to the latest IRS data, the top 1% of earners paid about 40.4% of all federal income tax in 2022. This means that although they earn a much smaller share of the total income, around 20.4, they contribute roughly 40% of federal income tax revenue. And then the leftover 10% that I was referring to is obviously on the state level. The figure refers specifically to federal income tax, not all tax types. Broader measures that include all federal taxes, including payroll and others, show a lower share of top 1%, historically 25 to 28 of total federal, blah, blah, blah. Top 1% of federal income taxes, 40%. The top 1% are paying 40, and that's just on one specific tax type, federal. If you want, including, yes, include all. Let's see what this says when we include all. Estimating, blah, 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 25 to 28, state and local. I mean, it's so many states are so different, so maybe this wasn't the best question. Key takeaways, 25 to 28, most comprehensive analysis, 1%, blah, blah, blah. If you want a specific source. All right, so you could ask it more, but yeah, this idea of like the rich people aren't paying taxes.
So as a 6-year-old,
you're just,
for him to grasp that,
I guess,
he then knew.
falling
he
victim
quickly got
to
it, and then he went
headlines
to
that
my
you never
husband
researched.
And he told him, he's like, Daddy, Mommy's
How much
in
of the
debt,
nation's wealth is
all this
owned by the
stuff.
top 1%?
But now we have
That's
a
a
chart,
good question.
and he
Let's
is
find out.
working
I don't know the
off
answer to this.
his debt to us. So, it starts so young. I mean, sometimes as a mom, I think
About 30 to 32%.
I'll get there. Like, I'm going to teach them that, but they're too young. But it's really you can really start now.
So about
Anytime.
1/3.
Yeah, and that's actually wildly important for parents with
The top
young children
1%
today. You mentioned
owns
passing on the
nearly as
American
much
dream, and I think
wealth
it's
as
important
the
for us to
bottom
sit with that for a
90% of
moment,
households
because
combined.
Pretty much every pollster and media organization will tell you today that
Top
young
1% of
adults
households
no
own
longer
roughly 30 to
believe in the American
32%
dream.
of
We think
wealth.
it's a
But remember,
disillusionment. It's no
you
longer
are not taxed on your wealth. You're taxed on your income. So once you already pay your taxes on that, and that's just in your bank account, that's just yours. You don't keep paying taxes on your wealth. You pay it on your income.
setting the tone for culture at the top. It's not telling young people, figure it out for yourselves. We're going to continue borrowing from our country's financial future and throwing you under the bus as a process. To the contrary, we're flipping the script and the narrative in Washington through these Trump accounts by investing in the next generation.
Did
and
Trump
telling
speak
them,
already?
you
No,
can be
we were
the
waiting.
champion of
It
your
just keeps
own
getting
future, and
punted.
generationally, the
At
American
first it
dream
was at
continues to
8:30 this
survive.
morning, then it
That's
was at
happening at the same
9:30,
time
and now
as
it's
a bit
just
of a baby
kind of like
boom
when he
down the
takes the
street at
stage.
1600 Pennsylvania
The
Avenue
market's just chilling
that
at the
you're
intraday low.
participating in. Can you speak to the culture that is
We
so...
practice what we preach.
Yes, you do. Can you speak to that culture that is so pro-family and how that's manifesting in so many different policies like this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there is a very pro-family culture in the White House, and I credit the president to that, and also our great chief of staff, Susie Wiles, who really just encouraged.
I have no idea why people think rich people don't pay their taxes. Is that just a weird coping mechanism? I think it's because of confusion of when they hear about companies not paying certain taxes, and then they're applying that to the owners of the company, not realizing that corporate and individual taxes are different. And also, there's just this idea that if you're a billionaire, you're not paying taxes. And if they're not selling anything, well, yeah, they're not paying taxes. But like, it's just a vast misunderstanding of the situation. Once again, the proof of it is Elon Musk. When he sold Tesla, part of his Tesla equity stake to be able to buy Twitter, he became the largest taxpayer ever. He paid $11 billion. And the sad thing about that is that the government, the U.S. government, probably pissed that away in like literally less than one calendar day. Probably actually less than 1 hour. It's just, could we get more taxes? Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. But first, I think our government should be run more efficiently because they are just pissing money away. To me, you don't fix the problem by just gaining more money. You maybe gain more money via taxes after running the government more efficiently. Like, you have to fix both. So I'm not against this idea of get more money from well-off corporations and well-off people. Cool, I'll join you there. But what's the point of it if our government is still just pissing away money? It doesn't make sense.
One household at a time for success. And in addition to these Trump accounts, these are a huge initiative, but it's just one small piece of the puzzle with respect to all President Trump is doing.
Why can't anyone apply budgeting on a small scale and see how logically the government doing spending-wise doesn't make sense? Because the average person is stupid and they want to blame their issues on other people. They don't want to take self-ownership.
No tax on overtime for our law
You don't move a
enforcement,
sewer leak
officers
by
and anyone who
moving
is
everything
working
to the
overtime
second
to try
floor
to
of the
make
house.
ends meet.
Exactly.
No tax on
Exactly.
Social Security
Exactly.
for our seniors. And in addition to prosperity, the other most important facet of the American dream is safety. And as a mother, there's nothing you want more than your child to be safe and healthy in this country. And thank you to your husband for all he's doing
people
to
are
make
arguing
America healthy
percentages,
again.
not amount.
That's
Middle
an
cap pays
amazing
35%,
movement
wealthy pays 20% by the way of legal loopholes.
that
No,
the
they
president
don't.
promised and he delivered by appointing your
They
husband.
do. Where the
and all
fuck are you
great
getting
work they're
that? You've
doing at
made that up.
HHS. But I
Wealthy
think
pay 20%.
safety
You
and
literally
healthy
just made that
health
up.
and prosperity are really the three things as parents you want the most
They're
for your
way
children.
closer to
and
50.
if you look across the board at all of the
Of
policies
course, like
this
that's
president is
federal and
implementing,
state depending.
from
But
Trump
if
accounts
you
to
make
border
over
security,
$500,000
to, working
in New
with
York
local
and
law
California,
enforcement to make
you're
our
paying
cities
50%.
safe places for American families,
Like people
removing
just make
dangerous
shit
violent
up.
criminals from American streets,
And it's, I guess,
again,
a
making
misunderstanding
America
of
healthy again.
realized
Just everything
versus
this
unrealized.
administration is doing is restoring the American dream, and it's very exciting to be
If you're up
And it really does
$10
start
million
inside the White
unrealized
House.
in your
Caroline
account,
and I
you're not
didn't
paying
know
on
that
that
when
because
we
it's
were interns for the
unrealized.
White House in
If your real
2018,
estate
we
is up
started from
$10 million,
bottom together,
but you're not
Life
selling,
is crazy
you're
how
not
it all
paying
works
shit
out.
because it's
And back then,
unrealized.
you know, it was classic DC work culture, I think, still. It always is, whether you're on the Hill or the administration. You want to be the first one at work and the last one to leave, really prove yourself, and it's always been that way in this city. But I can't tell you how many
No more
families I hear
taxes,
from
just
in the
print it all.
administration who are constantly told, it's 6 o'clock, what are you still doing here? Get home to your baby. You can finish this at home. That's so much more important in the legacy that we are building as an
Silver,
administration than
after
any
getting
email you could be sending
brutalized
from
right
here
past
at the
10, is
White
getting a
House.
little bit of
And
a
huge
bounce back.
component of that, Cheryl,
Mag
that I'm
7's getting hit.
constantly
Be
talking
careful
about
there.
with
Spy's
my
kind of
audience,
going flat
in
now.
our show is this intergenerational family dynamic. There are so many new
That's why the Biden
grandparents in
administration
America right now
threatening
that are
taxes
so
on
excited
unrealized gains
about
was horrific.
participating
It's
in their
honestly one of the
grandchildren's
dumbest
lives.
things that
My
have
baby
ever
is
been
the
said
first
from any
grandchild on both
politician
sides.
ever.
So we have very excited grandparents across the spectrum in our family.
All right, we're
What do
about
these
to hit
accounts
new
mean for
intraday
you and your
lows.
grandchildren, knowing that this is not just something we pass on to the next generation, but theoretically transforms our families and our economy moving forward into several generations?
Yes, well, it's like what we've all been talking about. I think.
All right, we're still waiting for Trump, but let's see. Someone just sent this in. What is this? What do we have here? I'm a crypto investor.
Excuse me? Yeah. What do you do for a living?
I'm a crypto investor.
Wow, okay, thank you.
The old switch up.
Excuse me?
The old switch up. Oh, that was good. Accurate for a crypto investor. We haven't seen TikTok investors in a minute. Do we have anything new on this one? Do we have anything? Dude, some of these things that they find from people putting on TikTok is amazing. 3 hours to read 10 pages. Day in the life of an insurance broker. Interesting lighting for a professional office. Okay, guess you gotta get a... Uh-huh. Interesting that it did take 3 hours to read 10 pages. Jesus. Some people. This world, it's wild. When is Trump taking the stage? SPY, new intraday low. Qs, new intraday low. I took a small piece of this on the FFN accounts, but on these other accounts, I haven't been able to do stuff because Trade-of-8 is still having an issue. So the only ones I could really trade on were my Rhythmic data accounts. Just to be clear, the issue isn't the prop firm, it's the prop firm data providers, and the two major ones are Rhythmic and Trade-of-8. Most of mine are Trade-of-8. I think it's a better data source. Obviously not today. The only one I have that is Rhythmic is my FFN, so I was able to trade on those. I was able to lock in about 5K. And other than that, I took a scalp super early this morning, like a 1-tick scalp, maybe a 2-tick scalp, which is how I made $6 just to lock in a trading day. But I think there's still issues. Can anyone clarify for me if their stuff is working, not working? I guess even if it's working now, I kind of miss this. This was a great breakdown trade here. If you took the trade at 1032, congrats. If you took the trade at 1041, congrats. I mean, right now, Binance official exchange have a bug exchange BTC. That sounds like bullshit. Let's not. We're going to block you from this because it sounds like you're just posting absolute bullshit, a scam. Feels like you're posting a clear scam. All right, so we did break the initial balance, IB, the first hour of the day, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. ET. We broke to the south side on both of those. We did get the downside gap fill on SPY. We did not yet get the downside gap fill on the NASDAQ, aka QQQ. So please be aware of that. Right here, QQQ downside gap fill to 632.04. Please pay attention to that. SPX, we did get the downside gap fill. SPY, we did get the downside gap fill. So no more gap on the SPYs. Did anyone in here play the S&P 500 downside gap fill, or is anyone currently playing the NASDAQ downside gap fill? The odds are good. Obviously, I'm not playing it. I've already locked in my gains, but I'm just, I guess, out of my own morbid curiosity. Are any of you playing it? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe something in the middle there. Okay, what are the reality TV personality? Moms of America member. Can I join Moms of America? What are the prerequisites to get into that? Just stacking 3631 puts 0 DTE. Godspeed, dude. Just got back from my job at ICE. What did I miss Daddy T speak yet? He should be taking the stage any minute now. Any minute now. It's most likely going to do what the market. Take a screenshot of approve it and send it to them if they don't give it to you. Oh, you're talking about Trade-of-8? Just got back from my job at ICE. Like, that's such a bold way to enter a chat room just to spin people up. Hey, just got back from working at ICE today. That's actually pretty funny. That was a bold way to kick in the door and say that you're here. A very, very bold way. Are we about to get a gap fill? The odds say yes. The gap fill is to basically right there, 63204. Is that right? Yeah, 63204. So it's pretty much the 30-minute 50 EMA right here. That's a very realistic target. Another realistic target, is the overnight session low, which is pretty much that gap fill. Remember, about 85% of the time, you either take out the overnight session high or low. A very high odds play if you can get on the right side of the trend. So if you took this breakdown around 10, if you took the breakdown around anywhere between 10 and 1030, that's a good target to have, somewhere between 26,100 and 26,120. That would be like kind of the reach target to like lock in your money and move on with your life. With respect to flow, the Mag 7's getting hit and the S&P 500 currently also getting hit. But I do want to remind you, whatever happens right now, it just does not really matter because the market can dramatically change this afternoon because of the FOMC meeting. If you're in here right now, we will be streaming again this afternoon. The Fed interest rate decisions at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then 30 minutes later, Jerome Powell will be doing his public press conference. So that's going to get crazy. And then at market close, we're going to have the earnings results of Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, IBM, and Lam Research. So there's going to be huge impacts on especially the tech sector. And then that leads us to tomorrow, where in the morning we have initial jobless claims, and then after the market closes, we're going to have the earnings from Apple. And then that sets us up for Friday, where we're going to have PPI in the morning, Chicago PMI right when the market opens, and then before the market opens, we're going to hear from SoFi, Chevron, Exxon, and I thought there was one more company that those of you pay attention to. Matt, Google wealthy effective tax rate and educate yourself. Ryan, I have a very, very sneaky suspicion that I'm far more familiar with this subject matter than you are, but whatever. I really don't give a shit. I can't make you understand and appreciate the truth. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So I don't know. I don't know what to talk about with you, man. Like, whatever. I really don't care to convince you. What I do care to do is convince you to use code Goonie on Apex to pass those tests, 90% off. Today, you might want to use the Rhythmic data connection so it works. But once again, Goonie gets you 90% off, dirt cheap, and then pretty much the similar all-in cost to go all the way to funded on TPT, Take Profit Trader, code Goonie, same thing. I think with Apex, it'll be about $97 to go for the full thing, and then TPT is going to be like $102, so off by about like $5 there. But what's absolutely free is for you guys to get into the Goonie Trading Discord. That code FOMC. We are After this one, there's not going to be a free code for a bit. I just have too much work to do in the Discord. So if you want to join right now, this is your opportunity. Entire month for free. The reason I'm doing that is because in 1 month, give me that opportunity to make the Discord even better, prove to you why you should be in there. If you like it, stick around. If it's not for you, cancel your account. Do it within time. There are no refunds. You can read the refund page if you want, but there are no refunds because it's a digital community. And based on my own trades, I deeply believe within 1 month, you're going to see that my own trades are paying for like in excess of an entire year. Use code Goonie or die. That's the vibes that I need. All right, we just, breakdown over here. So 5 minute, 10 minute is red, 30 minute is breaking down, and the 4 hour just took out the overnight low, and the NASDAQ is quickly barreling towards that level. So if you're on NQ, watch 26,100 and a little bit of change. On QQQ, 632. SPY, you can see already kind of broke down. I'd be watching 595. In fact, we can use spot gamma. We could use spot gamma to see what some of these key levels are going to be on SPY. Let me just get out of this. SPY. We could see just where the big money positioning is at. All right, we are currently trading at 95. What's that? So 94 is the big node right here, negative gamma node. Past 94, if things get bad, you could watch 90. But I would just be very careful because once again, this afternoon could get crazy. We could easily keep going down, or we could completely revert back up and get into the realm of almost 700. But if you're looking for a morning target for your downside on SPY, just to point out this node, the clear negative gamma node is 694. If you're looking at SPX, we run into some positive gamma between 60 and 65. I'd be looking at this. It's a bit of positive gamma right now, but there's a little bit of negative gamma there. So if we revert, obviously 7,000 is the target, just looking at this call credit spread. If we keep going, yeah, I'd look at 65 or 60. That's where you run into some of this positive gamma, which is pretty much in line with this SPY level right here, about $1 below where we are, $1.50 below where we are. So just wanted to call that out to everyone in terms of if you have some morning targets, some potential downside. The NASDAQ, watch the downside gap fill, QQQ, NDX or NQ, and on SPY, I'd be looking at 694-ish, and on SPX, I would be looking at 6965 would be where I see it. So just wanted to call that out. But wealthy people paying a lower percentage is really not an argument. They utilize loopholes. I'm self-employed. I pay roughly 20 to 22% through legal loopholes. Maybe your LLC does, but you If you have a pass through, you do not. I run my own business. You do not pay 20 to 20 whatever percent. Your corporation might, but then you for your personal income. People just really deeply misunderstand the concept of a company, like something in LLC, whatever, S Corp, C Corp, whatever it is. The tax there versus what you are getting are two completely different things. And once again, you're not a billionaire, but you yourself, you're taking advantage of it. So even if we just take your argument, which is incorrect, to be correct, that would still apply to everyone. It wouldn't specifically just apply to billionaires. So once again, your argument is weak. Like, it's just a massive, you're bitching about billionaires not paying taxes, and then yet you're saying you're taking advantage of loopholes. Hence, by that logic, unless you're a billionaire, which obviously you are not, it sounds like everyone can take advantage of those loopholes, as if they're not loopholes. They're literally just maybe called tax laws. He said he's a CPA. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that someone on the internet said we should believe them because they have credentials that are unverified. My bad. But once again, it's just such an incredibly weak argument. Billionaires take advantage of tax loopholes. I take advantage of tax loopholes. I'm not a billionaire. So thus, anyone can take advantage of it? Like, what? Maybe they're not tax loopholes. Maybe they're literally just tax laws that anyone could take advantage of if you're in that situation, and it doesn't have like some prerequisite to be a multimillionaire or a billionaire. Maybe. Maybe. If you were smart, you would live in a no income tax state. Well, the issue with that is my wife doesn't want to live in a no income tax state. So here we are, not in one. I would love to live in Florida. Your boy, you see how like translucent white my skin is? My skin, my body's largest organ, is screaming for vitamin D. I would love for my daily life to involve a walk on a beautiful Floridian beach. I would love it. Fuck, sign me up to be a Scientologist down there in Clearwater or wherever the hell that is. I want to be there. I don't disagree. The sun, the beaches, the lack of income tax. Hell yeah. I could actually save my income. Instead, I'm in a like hellish tundra here in New York City. And for 3 months of the year, it's like actually way too frigid to do anything. And the bonus that I get for living here is paying 50% of my income. There are more choices than Florida. Yeah, but Florida's the best one. What are your other choices? I'm not going to live in Washington. I'm not going to, well, Tennessee is probably nice, but they don't have a beach there. New Hampshire, maybe South Dakota, fuck Nevada. I'm not living there. Texas. Texas does have no income, but the real estate taxes are pretty high. Like property taxes are pretty high. Florida's the best one. What are there, 5 or 6 no income taxes? State taxes or states that have no income tax? Florida's the best one. Alaska has beaches. Alaska still has state income tax though. Tennessee would be number 2. Wyoming. Tennessee is a beautiful state. Like, I mean, what's it? The Smoky Mountains right there. But it is obviously nice to have the beaches of Florida, and they have better airports. Like I have to travel quite a bit, so to be able to either use West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, or Miami. I mean, Miami is literally like an international hub, so you could do that. I said Washington, but I'm pretty sure Alaska. Am I wrong on that? I thought Alaska did have state income tax. Alaska does not. Oh, I was wrong on that. Well, I guess that's one way to get people there. Puerto Rico, not technically a state. I get that it's a territory. You're sacrificing quite a bit of quality of life. Puerto Rico, the infrastructure is not anywhere close to built up to what you have in the continental U.S. So I think even though financially, what's nice about Puerto Rico is there's no capital gains tax, so it's even better than no income tax, especially if your job is as a trader. But it's a sacrifice in other aspects of your life for sure. I mean, if we just look at all the continental, I guess we're counting out Alaska because that time zone to trade over there is probably fucking hell. If we're looking at continental options, I would say it's pretty freaking hard to beat Florida. it kind of has everything you need. Has the airport, has beaches, decent school systems. I think by the time you like weigh out all the measurable things, it probably does win. Tennessee sucks. I don't think so. I actually really enjoy Tennessee. There's beautiful hikes. Nashville's always a fun time. I would say it's second on my list. I would disagree on Tennessee. I think it's actually a beautiful state. The travel's a bit tough there, and obviously there's lack of beaches, but you could probably find lakes and stuff. It also has Florida men. Yeah, but to me, that's an advantage. Florida men are another level of human being. It has a season called hurricanes. Yeah. I don't know if hurricanes are real. I really don't. Like, I know that people talk about them, but people also talk about Helen Keller. Not sure that she was real. People talk about Voldemort. Not sure he was real. So, like, just because people talk about a thing, it doesn't make it real. So, like, I get it. Like, if you want to buy into, like, the big media hype of hurricanes, hey, have at it. But I'm just, from a personal standpoint, I'm not really convinced. And like I said, same thing with Helen Keller. Just because a lot of people are talking about it and they're telling me that it's real, I'm not really buying that concept. Not really buying the concept. And I'm not saying that you should too. I'm just letting you guys know where I'm personally at. Florida has plenty of New Yorkers. Oh yeah, like the Boca area, isn't it called like the retired Wall Street or something like that? Will Trump punt the market? We're about to find out. He should be talking soon. Tennessee is boring and cold. For the few times I've been there, I have not been bored or cold. In fact, it was very hot and I was melting and boring. If you're bored in Nashville, you're just not doing the right thing, dude. Jacksonville is the Tennessee of Florida. Oddly enough, I went to a trading conference one time in Jacksonville and I went into it with like a really negative attitude because I thought it was going to suck. And I stayed at a Margaritaville in Jacksonville, Florida. And it was one of the most fun times I've ever had. The beach was pristine. The water was warm. The hotel was awesome. I was literally putting many, many dollars into Jimmy Buffett's pocket by the amount of margaritas I bought at Margaritaville. Truly. So I loved it. If you live in Jacksonville, dude, shout out because I had a great time. All right. Is this guy about to take the stage? It's resuming soon. Live, Washington, D.C. He needs to be taking the stage soon. Are they just replaying the same thing? What do we have going on? Hang on, we found a different link just in case. All right, we have 2 links going, so we're not going to be missing it. We have 2 different links. Apparently, Trump's taking the stage soon. Memphis is a drain of the prison shower in Tennessee. I've never been to Memphis. Can't comment on that. Come to Florida. My wife is a realtor. Won't charge you commission. I got you. Well, that's a pretty big state. I don't know where it's at, but that's obviously very kind of you. Very kind of you. So we got a little bit of a replay over here. He should be taking a stage at, like, we have a gazillion links open. This just keeps getting punted and punted today. Oh, come on.
U.S. employees in 2026 through 2028, Broadcom will match the federal government's contribution with an additional $1,000 deposit.
Dude, Broadcom's getting in the game.
Combined with the president's generous...
I'm from New York City, moved to Tampa. Tampa's beautiful. I have a lot of family who's in Tampa right now.
Their own foundation for a bright future. And by doing this...
All right. We almost bounced off the close there on the spy. We almost tagged it.
We are investing in the future engineers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who will keep America the most innovative nation on earth.
Who is this? Some sort of representative for Broadcom, AVGO, world's second biggest processing chip creator.
Take your seats. The Trump House launch will resume momentarily.
All right, take your seats. It's going to Resume momentarily. All right. I don't know if we're allowed to listen to this without getting a DMCA. All right. Mate, are we getting it? Mag 7, it's flattening out. It's not puking anymore, but it's definitely not going up. While on the other side, we're seeing a little bit of life in the SPY. So you might have some dip buyers coming in at the closing value from yesterday, the classic green to red test. But in reality, obviously, we could define in one way or another equilibrium to be the previous closing value, i.e. we close there, equilibrium. So we just kind of return to equilibrium, which really isn't the biggest surprise as we're heading into the FOMC decision. So I think it's going to be kind of like a violently going nowhere holding pattern until we get the report at 2, and then the market's going to be crazy from 2 to 2:30, and then it's going to be a different type of crazy from 2:30 to 4, and then from 4 till market open tomorrow, it's going to be a whole different type of crazy because of the earnings of Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, IBM, and Lam Research. Been here 10 years, only hurricane worth a damn was Irma. I'm not, dude, if there's a hurricane coming, I would just leave for like a period. Like I don't, this whole idea of you can't go to an area because there's hurricanes, I guess I like literally just leave before. It's not like hurricanes sneak up. They're not playing hide and seek. It's not like, oh, we're having a great day and then boom, a hurricane hits. They're not sneaky little cats. They're not like equivalent to a Florida Panther or something like that. We kind of know about hurricanes. We're at the point in technology where like weeks out, we're like, oh, a hurricane might be coming. 2 weeks out, a hurricane's coming. 1 week out, hurricanes definitely come. Like they're not surprises. So this entire idea of like hurricane, like they don't sneak up on you, folks. They're pretty fucking apparent. Like they're in fact a large global weather like phenomena that we can see from space. Like they're not sneaky. I don't know where this is the lack of, I guess, education currently in the US that people think hurricanes are sneaky and they come out of nowhere. It's just not how it works. Just truly not how it works. You can't exactly take your house with you. Dude, I'm pretty sure they have hurricane insurance, flooding insurance. Like they have insurance. Like it, like I don't get the argument. You can protect yourself. You know what sneaks up you? Bears. New York has bears. Florida is better. Yeah, but doesn't Florida, like, there's like pythons? Experts agree silver will reach moon before launch NASA's Artemis. 90% of Florida doesn't leave even with the early notice. Well, I'd be in the 10% that says sick, peace, and I'd move on with my life. They're just annoying mainly. We got iguanas, gators. Yeah, well, New York City has sub-zero temperatures, so there's also that. And I don't know if you've seen it recently, but we have pretty serious crime issues. The new mayor has this really, really interesting concept of if you commit a crime, he just kind of lets you out. So there's that as well. So Florida might have gators, while New York City has people who commit assault on the loose with no bond, just a no bail bond, no bond bail, whatever you want to call it. So it's a trade-off. It's all a trade-off. All right, dude, where's Trump? You'll have to get a pair of jean shorts and a wife beater t-shirt to be in Jacksonville. I'm down for it. If I could somehow get into a life where I just live on the beach and I exclusively wear overalls and that's it, just like barefoot overalls, and that's like just my general getup, I'd be happy with that. Whatever amount of like refined personality or culture, whatever fashion you think I have, folks, you are greatly overestimating it. If I could just be barefoot overalls on the beach and just once in a while we're ripping it here in the market, that would be the life. Jean shorts, New Balance. I don't even need the New Balance. Just give me the jean shorts. That could be my entire professional getup. That's it. That could be it. This is what Nashville looks like right now. Trees down everywhere and no power to about 500,000 people. Well, that was also because like of a once in a generation storm, and Nashville isn't necessarily prepared for storms of that degree. Did you guys see what was happening in Texas? Dude, the second there's like literally one snowflake, Texas just doesn't know what to do. They're like, we've never seen this before. We don't know what it's like below 50 degrees. Like Texas literally goes and just like, they just don't know what to do. Like there'll be a report, hey, 80 miles away, we saw a snowflake. And then all of a sudden people just start to lose their mind. They're just, certain states are not built for it. Oddly enough, have you guys, I don't know if you've ever been to DC, but have you guys noticed in DC, for anyone who's ever driven in DC, that the second there's any form of inclement weather, everyone in DC just forgets how to drive? It was the most interesting phenomena ever of my time that I lived in DC. I lived in DC for a couple of years right after college for my first job. And the thing that to this day stands out is the second there's a raindrop, the second there's a snowflake, the second there's a gust above like 15 miles per hour, people in DC are just like, oh, I've never driven a car before. And they lose their sense of sight. They lose their sense of hearing. It's absolutely insane. I've never been in an area.
The 45th and 47th
Are we ripping it?
President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Hell yeah, brother. We're definitely getting DMCA'd on this one. Dude, just makes you want to get a bald eagle tattooed on your chest. All right, we're ripping it. America. Buckle up, Buttercup. We're ripping it. Oh, he's letting the whole song rip it. Get that flag going. All right, we got some buyers coming in right off that 50 EMA. God, this makes you want to just bleed red, white, and blue. If you have a lighter, get it going, folks. It just makes you kind of want to cry. Just like tears of freedom, you know? Just fucking, this is what it's like to be the best. If you're not in America right now and you're watching this show, you just wouldn't get it. It's like you're just always watching the school that always beats your school. Like you're just watching that one that like they just fucking winning, man. Just, damn. You wouldn't get it. You just wouldn't get it. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking makes you want to punch a commie, doesn't it? Whenever I hear songs like this, I get two major feelings. Number one, immense pride for being the best. And number two, the unwavering feeling to punch a commie in the face. Just fucking fuck commies, you know? What if that's how he started the speech? Just fuck commies.
All right, let's get down to business. That's enough of that.
Let's get down.
Lee Greenwood, he was with us right from the beginning. First time I walked onto the stage, I heard that song. I liked it. I said, let's use it. That was 10 years ago.
The first time he heard that song
all the way. Fantastic.
Was 10 years ago?
There's never been a man that made so much money from one song ever.
Probably Mariah Carey.
But I'm delighted to be back in the beautiful Mellon Auditorium. Wonderful family. Tim Mellon is a great guy. He's the current version of the Mellons. A fantastic person. To celebrate a thrilling new milestone for America, the first generation of Trump account children. Trump account children. For the first time ever, we're going to give every newborn American child a financial stake in the future, head start at life, and a fair shot at the American dream, something people don't talk about so much At least not for the last 4 years they haven't been, but now they're talking about it big. This last period of time, it's been unbelievable. When you see what's going on with our economy, the tremendous investments that's been made in our country. We have over $18 trillion coming in. The most, I think, was 3. That was 10 years ago, another country, not even our country. We have $18 trillion, and we have thousands of businesses being built all over the country, and hundreds of massive plants, so big, car plants, AI plants. With the support of the men and women here in this beautiful room, over the next 15 years, we're going to put $3 to $4 trillion of wealth into the hands of young Americans who otherwise would have really started out with nothing. It's really an amazing thing because it gives young children that start out with really nothing, and it gives them, boy, it's more money than anybody could imagine. From their standpoint, they'll have a real start in life, and that's why decades from now, I believe the Trump accounts will be remembered as one of the most transformative policy innovations of all time. And I've done a lot of them. The tax cuts, we've done a lot of them, more than I think anybody. And I think this is going to be one of the most outstanding. Last summer, I signed the great, big, beautiful bill delivering. It made this possible, too. It actually made this possible. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to do this. Delivering the largest tax cuts in American history, including no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And, you know, we did another thing. When you buy a car now, you get a deduction on the interest payment if you borrow money. So think of it. Rich people get so many deductions. I'm the king of deductions. I love deductions. But people, middle-income people, never had a deduction before. Now they're getting a deduction on interest. They buy a car. That's going to have a huge impact on the automobile. By the way, there's one proviso. It has to be made in America. If the car is made in another country, no thank you. But they're all going to be made in America pretty soon because we have factories coming in from Canada, Mexico, Japan, Germany, all over Europe. They're all coming here to make their cars because they don't want to pay tariffs. Very simple. It wasn't very complicated. You'll see those numbers starting to produce. That's why you see these massive construction numbers, and soon when those things start opening, you're going to see employment, and you're going to see wealth creation for middle-income people like you've never seen before. Every single Democrat in Congress voted to raise taxes on hardworking citizens. Their whole campaign was raise taxes. I've never heard of it before. All my life I grew up, and I hear politicians, we will cut taxes. This is the only group I've ever seen, we're going to raise your taxes. No wonder they lost. Actually, there were other reasons also. But together with the majorities in the House and Senate, we overcame their obstruction, and we put more money into the pockets of every working American than anyone thought even imaginable. Perhaps no provision of the great big beautiful bill will prove more consequential than Trump accounts. Under this program, the U.S. government will automatically create a tax-free investment account for every newborn American child, something that nobody really would have even thought of. There were some brilliant people that thought of it for a long time. They're here with us today. We're going to introduce a couple of them. But nobody really, I mean, I've had friends at the top people in business, they came up to me, whose idea was this? This is great. They said, I never thought of that. We'll fund those personal accounts with a seed contribution of $1,000, which will compound and grow over the course of their lives and could grow into very, very substantial numbers. Parents, employers, churches, states, and loved ones will also be able to add up to $5,000 in additional money for those accounts. And with every modest contribution, Trump accounts should reach at least $50,000 in value by the time the child turns 18, and could be very substantially more than that. With slightly greater contributions, the typical account will grow to $100,000, $200,000, and can even grow up to past $300,000 per child. And we think the most likely cases in the $200,000, $300,000 range. The size and scale of This wealth will dwarf all government programs ever created to benefit America's youth. There's never been anything like this. That's why everybody's talking about it. Even really people that truly hate me are making this investment. One person hates my guts. He put $1 billion into it. I said, you must like this program a lot because you can't stand me. I said, I do, but I do like you more than you think. They liked me more in the last year than they liked me before. Although we had a great first term, we can't forget that. We're the greatest economy in the history of our country, but this is blowing it away. So every president, thank you. Every president in modern history has left our children with nothing but debt. But under this administration, we're going to leave every child with real assets and a shot at financial freedom. We'll ensure that Americans don't just end their lives with a nest egg, but instead all Americans will begin their lives with a beautiful nest egg. There's never been anything quite like this. I want to express my tremendous gratitude to a very special couple who believed so strongly in this vision right from the beginning, that they personally donated $6.25 billion. That's $6,250,000,000. Even the 250 is a lot of money when you think. I mean, you know, Nikki, do you hear that money? That's big even compared to rapping, all the money she makes. She's hearing a number like that. She'll say, how many songs do I have to make to
Is he
catch
talking
that?
to Nicki Minaj right now?
But amazing.
What
amazing
universe do we live in here?
$6,250,000,000 to fund Trump accounts for an additional 25 million children aged 10 and under. And that's Michael and Susan Dell, two incredible people. Where are you, Michael? Where's Michael? Stand up, Michael. What a great guy. What a great guy. You know, I tell you, he didn't do it for his business. He did it, I guess, probably would have been better off not to. That's a lot. But you know what? I hope everybody goes out and buys Dell computers. My son, I told you, Barron, he loves that computer. I don't know what the hell you're doing to it, but he likes it. But I just want to thank you very much, and Susan. It's
We're taking some interesting turns in
really
this speech.
Unbelievable what you've done. So Michael and Susan made this donation in recognition of America's 250th anniversary because there's no better way to honor America's history than to invest in America's future. That's what they did. And this is perhaps the largest, one of the largest certainly, but perhaps the largest private donations of all time. That's a lot, $6,250,000,000. And somebody did say that. A friend of mine, very rich, he's going to put up $100 million. And he said, geez, you know, think of it, the 250 that Michael has is a lot more than mine. And I haven't even talked about the $6 billion. But anyway, it's amazing when Michael can start off with very little money and build a fortune where he can, you know, routinely make such a payment and investment in the youth of our country. Michael, you're great. Thank you, man. Thank you. And I also want to say hello to and thank some very special people that have been with my administration and really become friends of mine. On occasion, I have little arguments, but generally, I would say really good. And who's doing, and start off with a man who's doing a phenomenal job, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Scott, thank you very much, Scott. And he loved this right from the beginning, Scott, right? He saw this and he said, wow, what a great idea that is. This is, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time they reach 18, but we can go 21. They can keep it in longer. But he saw this right from the beginning. He said, wow, that's just great. And we have some other ideas that will be great, but this was one that just hit everybody. This was an easy one to think about. And again, that bill allowed us to do this. Otherwise, can you imagine trying to get this approved by Democrats and Republicans? Let's get together. We got it done. Also, a man who's made your life much easier because those of you that are building plants and equipment so you can give your money, ultimately you're giving your money away anyway, no matter how much you make. But he's made it a lot easier. You know, approvals for big plants used to take 20 years, 25 years, and then you'd get rejected, actually. You'd go 20 years environmentally and they'd reject you. You finally, if I think of it, a guy starts young, he starts an approval process. By the time he's middle-aged, they take a vote. and he loses, it's not worth it. But we have a man that's getting these things done in a matter of weeks. And the biggest plants in the world are being built right now, and he's getting them done fast. He's getting electric plants built so that we can buy them. They're paying for them. They want to pay for them. So they can open up their AI plants, and they can open up their automobile plants, and lesser so. The automobiles, believe it or not, take much less electricity. You're going to have to tell me why you need so much electricity to create information. I said, what's your primary product? Information. Oh, I see. Information. It better be damn good information for the kind of money. But Lee Zeldin is a star, and he has been incredible. Thank you, Lee.
Market's going back down near the intraday low. Just made a fresh low.
I have to say this. Scott and I were talking about it. So Lee went out to California after the fire, which should have never happened if they would have let the water flow from the Pacific Northwest, which everybody's been telling them, including me. Now I just opened it up. We literally sent in the military to open it up. But if they would have let, you wouldn't have had the fires, because you would have had a little thing called the old-fashioned way, water in the fire hydrants, as opposed to empty fire hydrants. You would have had water, and most of the houses had the sprinklers on top. No, there was no water in their sprinkler in their living room. All those fires wouldn't have started. But they did start, and I will say that Lee, the most difficult permit was Lee. I went there a couple of days after the fire, met so many people on the streets who were, in many cases, fairly wealthy people, some very rich people. Some of the best houses in California burned down. And I said to them, so what do you want to do? They said, sir, we want to start immediately. Well, we'll get you permits. Now, the hardest permit, Lee, was the federal permit. Is that right? He got everything done in 20 days, right? The whole thing? Is that a correct statement or less? 20 days. So he got everything done, 100% ready to go. And I went for a meeting, and this mayor, who's a grossly incompetent person, she said, we're going to try and have the permits done within 2 years. Remember that? I got into an argument. I said, you mean within 2 days, right? She said, no. And I'm meeting all these people as I'm walking along the streets with the fire departments and the policemen, and they're all devastated. You know, they're still smoldering. They weren't even allowed to go in their property. The Environmental Protection Agency local said, don't go on your property, okay? We said, it's okay, don't worry about it. Any problem is gone. Any problem is burned. Any germs are burned. They're burned. They were burned. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, but all so unnecessary that it happened. But we got it all done in 20 days, the whole place. And yet now, still, more than a year later, they don't have permits. Almost nobody is building. So I haven't told this to Lee Zeldin yet, but I'm going to put you in charge of getting permits. I think we're going to override the local authorities, because they're never going to have it. And when I was told that there's a provision where you can override the local authority to get things done, because it's really, to me, it's a national emergency. What they've done to these people is horrible. It's just horrible. And they'll still vote Democrat. Can you believe it? After all, it's just, they get used to it. Although I must say we converted many. We'll probably convert a lot more. But I just want them to get into their houses. And I don't want a big section of the area built into low-income housing. They want to put low-income housing right smack in the middle of it. And that's not the American dream, you know? You didn't do that. And low-income housing is great. I built a lot of low-income housing, but you don't put it there. This is one of the richest neighborhoods in the world, and we're going to let those people. And I recommended strongly that everybody gets the approval, immediate approval, to build a house, and you give them a 10% bonus so they can build a house 10% larger than they had before, if they want, for all the suffering they've been caused. So they can build a little bit bigger house. So Lee, if you want, will you accept the job?
He's offering him the job now in front of everyone?
Okay, all right. Override those people. Those people are incompetent. Between the mayor and the governor, they're incompetent. They'll never get approved. They'll never get approved. So do whatever you can, Lee. There's a provision that you're allowed to do it, and I'll sign it in 2 seconds, frankly. It'll never happen. I also want to introduce a man, Frank Pasigno. Now, if you met Frank, and if you knew Frank, he's quiet, but he's actually a stone-cold killer. He was one of the biggest people in business. He would be sitting with you. In fact, now he's got a better seat because he's working for the government. He's the head of a lot of things, but the job he's done in this country is great. And he's working on Social Security and a thing called the IRS. He's working with Scott on both of them, really, but the IRS in particular. And he is a fantastic man. Where are you, Frank? Took the biggest pay cut in history. He went from being paid $35 million a year to being paid about $35 a year. I think you may have taken the biggest pay cut in history. He'd be close. He'd be one of the top 5, because a few people have done that. Few billionaires have sort of left. But Frank has gone from one of the most successful people. He worked with Jamie Dimon. I don't think Jamie likes me too much nowadays, but that's okay. I never minded that.
Dude,
but Frank, you are fantastic, and
so,
you're doing a great job. We
this
appreciate
is so
it.
Trump,
Thank you.
dude.
Thank you to their family. The director of National Economic Council, a man who's in the
so
news
Trump.
a lot. You know, my only problem is I don't want to lose him. I will tell
Matt
you
Kohrs,
that he's working
Apex,
from
what
a
about
big
it?
deficit because I don't want to lose him. He's so good. Kevin Hassett. Thank you, Kevin.
Is
Thank
it back?
you, Kevin.
Is Trade of 8 working?
A friend of mine, a senator who has been unbelievable. She's a tremendous woman, a tremendous, married to a great football player. Her husband is
He's warming up to some
massive
crowd
man.
work.
This guy, he played in the NFL, I guess, for 11 years. He was top-of-the-line player. I met him. I said, that's not a normal situation. Look at this guy. This guy was seriously powerful, big, and he's as nice as he is big. And she is one of our best senators, Senator Katie Britt. Thank you, darling. From Alabama, I love Alabama. We love Alabama. Marsha Blackburn is an incredible person. Unfortunately, she's running for governor. She's running for governor of Tennessee. I'd love her not to. I begged her. I said, Marsha, we don't want to lose you in the Senate. But I have to say they're lucky. They're lucky to get you because you are a talent and a great person. And you've been with me all the way, and I appreciate it. And you're a very special person. Marsha, stand up, please. And a senator who's a friend of mine, you wouldn't believe that because we went through a rough campaign together. It was nasty. We got along so well, and we actually did joint rallies. Can you believe it? He wanted to get somebody action, so he's smart. He said, would you do a rally with me? But we did joint rallies, and the press used to say, will you ever, start fighting? I said, don't worry, it'll come. He said the same thing. Don't worry, it'll come. He's a very tough guy, very brilliant guy. In fact, when I said, because I had never gone into a debate before officially. My whole life was a debate, but I'd never debated before officially. And I said, let me find out about my competition. Who are these people? Because many of them, they were senators and mostly senators and governors. And I said, well, why don't we start with this guy named Ted Cruz? Let me, he was the best student at Harvard, #1 in his class. He was the best student at Princeton or something. And he was the national debate champion for 3 years. And I said, well, I don't like that. I didn't know that.
Ted Cruz is
I don't like that. And he was a very good
debate
we'll tell
champion.
You that. He's a smart guy. But I'll never forget, because he was the first one I looked at. I've just joined the ranks of politics. And the first famous, that was the Rosie O'Donnell. Remember that? Only Rosie O'Donnell? Ireland, you can keep her. Ireland has done us tremendous. The head of Ireland said, are all your people this way? We don't want that. But Ted Cruz has one thing that I love. If I ever have problems, because it's hard to get people approved, he's a brilliant legal mind. He's a brilliant man. If I nominate him for the United States Supreme Court, I will get 100% of the vote. The Democrats will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out. And the Republicans will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out, too. Where's Ted? Where are you, Ted? And with all of that being said, he's a great guy, too. He's a great guy. We've become friends, and he's a very effective person, too. Thank you, Ted, very much. The man knows more about tax than anybody that I know. Jason Smith, congressman, wonderful person. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, Jason. Great job. Idaho Governor Brad Little. Terrific guy. Thank you, Brad. Georgia Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who hopefully will be the governor of Georgia very shortly. They have a big race. He's leading by a lot in the polls. He was outstanding as a lieutenant governor. He's great everywhere, and I've endorsed him fully, so I don't want to, do anything that you don't know about. I have given him my complete and total endorsement. Burt Jones, where are you, Burt? Thank you, Burt. Great guy. Chief Design Officer of the United States, Joe Gebbia. Joe, thank you. Great idea, great ideas. Also, we have Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. I like Kevin O'Leary. Where's Kevin O'Leary? Come on, Kevin, it's so nice. He's with me 90% of the time, but when he's with me, he's really with me. Great. And we got the TikTok deal done. Who the hell thought we could do that?
TikTok deal.
Right? I know. I wish he wanted to buy TikTok so much, and I would have done it, but his price was slightly lower. Slightly. He's fantastic. What a good, you're an entertainer, businessman, you had the whole quality, so I appreciate. I know what you did. Having done The Apprentice, I see you on television, you have what it takes, right? So I appreciate it, and thanks for all the nice things you do. And Cheryl Hines, where's Cheryl? Wow. Married to a very, very powerful, important man. And I said, I'll tell you, Bobby, she's strong. I watched her in an interview. I said, Bobby, you keep him in line, don't you, huh? She said, yes, I do. She's got no choice. He's doing a great job, and so are you. Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's doing a very different kind of a job, too, and he's doing things that people have wanted to do for a long time. And they didn't have the courage, so say hello to Bobby, okay? We're also pleased, my daughter, she went crazy when she heard that this was happening. I want to go, she happens to be in the wrong state right now for that, but when she heard that there's a certain person that's here who's the greatest and most successful female rapper in history, Nicki Minaj. Come on, and
Are they going to bring her up? Dude, this might be
and
the
Nicki
most
makes a lot
live
of
speech.
cash.
Bring her
Not
up.
as much as
Bring
Michael
her
Dell.
up.
Not quite.
Bring her up.
Not as much, but that's okay. But Nicki makes a lot of money, and she's generously stepping up. She's investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in Trump accounts to support the children and really the children of her incredible fans. That's great. Focus on
Bring
that.
her
Why
up.
should you give to somebody else's fans? Give to your fans. I like that. But and I just think she's great. I've been hearing so much over the years because I didn't know Nicki, and I've been hearing over the years she's a big Trump supporter and a Trump fan, and she took a little heat on occasion. Her community isn't necessarily. I tell you, we did pretty damn well with that, with your community, as we say. But Nicki has been an unbelievable supporter. She gets almost as much as Mr. Wonderful over here. He's been another one that's been so good. But I'd like to ask you to come up, Nicki. Come on.
No,
Come on.
dude.
She's been such a great
Buckle
supporter
up.
and a great supporter of
Buckle
Trump
up,
accounts.
folks.
I said, I am going to let my nails grow because I love those nails. I'm gonna let those nails grow.
No, dude.
She's so good. She's been MAGA.
Get ready, folks.
She's been with us all the way, right, Alex?
This is where
She's
we
been with
really
us
take
all
it to the
way.
next level.
Just want to thank her. And it wasn't so easy. For you, it was easier, right? You want to come up? You want to come up? Mr. Wonderful, come on up here. You've been terrific.
The old Mr. Wonderful Nicki Minaj duo. The collab crossover event no one knew we needed, but we definitely need this. Trump x Nicki Minaj x Mr. Wonderful.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan.
Hell yeah, brother.
And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen?
Amen. Can I get an amen? Hell yeah, Nikki. Very poetic. Couldn't have said it better myself.
On behalf of all the entrepreneurs in America, I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, because we create 72% of the jobs. Companies 5 to 500 employees, and all we care about is policy. We love policy, pro-business policy, and these accounts are fantastic for independence and support. I thank you very much. It's all about the entrepreneur, and I think you know that, sir.
It's all about the entrepreneur. Wow.
Well, that was great.
What a
little
world we live
interlude,
in,
I don't know.
folks.
That's better than getting Scott Bessent up.
Damn, we're taking swipes
Thank you
at old
both
Scotty.
very much. Two terrific people. When Trump accounts officially launch on July 4th of this year,
July
every parent
4th.
will be able to activate their accounts and access the funds at the trumpaccounts.gov. So it's all set up, all ready to go. It's beautiful. The site is beautiful. On that glorious day, we also expect to have commitments from generous private individuals in all 50 states, and they'll be making additional contributions for children in their own states. And already, legendary investor Ray Dalio has pledged to adopt the entire state of Connecticut. That's pretty good, Michael.
I do like the state-by-state
Thank you
thing.
very much, Ray.
It's kind of fun.
Legend.
A little bit of competition there.
And today, one of the original advocates of this program has agreed to adopt his home state of Indiana, Brad Gerstner. Brad's here someplace? Where's Brad? Come on. I think Michael and Brad, would you come up here, please? Come up here. I mean, this isn't exactly Mr. Wonderful and Nikki, but I think they might
No
be
one's
worth
ever
more money
Nikki,
than
you
Mr.
know?
Wonderful, right? These guys are worth a lot of money. But Brad is donating, listen to this, $250 to Trump accounts for all children under 5 in Indiana. So every children, all the children under 5, $250,
money.
and he'll be donating tens of millions of dollars more in matching contributions to millions of children all across the country. He's going to make a massive donation already. We know what it is. Brad is not only one of the most successful business people, he's the founder of the Invest America Foundation. And he's been working on this idea for years, and he was the one. He went over to see Michael. Michael loved it, and those two were a hell of a team, along with Mrs. Dell, who's been so great, Susan. I also delighted to report that dozens of major employers have signed up to add the Trump account contributions to their employee benefit packages, including Uber, Schwab, Charter Communications, and many, many others. And just today it was announced that Intel, NVIDIA, Broadcom, IBM, Steak and Shake, Coinbase, Continental Resources, and Comcast have all signed up for really big contributions. So I want to thank them. I want to have you two guys come on up. Would you say a couple of words? Brad and Michael, would you say a couple of words?
It's a tax write-off. Yeah. Wouldn't you rather the money go
we
to
love
kids
Indiana,
rather
but
than the
how
government?
about Indiana, Iowa?
Who cares?
No, we appreciate it. Big numbers. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, 4 years ago, we set off on a journey to reconnect every child in America with the American dream. This president ran on a Main Street agenda that too many people had been left out and left behind. And his articulation of no tax on tips, that doesn't help rich folks. That helps those left out and left behind. No tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. And when Ted Cruz authored the Invest America Act in the Senate, and Michael Dell partnered with me to bring the private sector to bear on this, we had the opportunity that this president was willing to sign. He immediately understood the impact. That this wasn't about the wealthy folks in America. This was about the 50 million American families who will be lifted up and reconnected to the American dream, because this is now the law of the land. Forevermore, every child in America, from rural Missouri to rural Indiana, from Trenton to Compton, is going to start off life with an investment account at birth, seeded with $1,000, where they privately own NVIDIA and Microsoft, all the greatest companies in this country, right? Not dependent on government, independent from government. Not more socialism. The answer to more socialism is more capitalism. This makes every child in America a capitalist from birth, and it would not have happened without the leadership of our Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, without the leadership of the Speaker and Ted Cruz in the Senate, but most importantly, and every business leader in America will tell you this, for too long they had no access in Washington to the White House. People didn't want to hear their ideas. This president is voracious in his desire to hear from America's leaders about how to make America better. This is citizen democracy at its best. An idea that started around a kitchen table in Silicon Valley makes its way to this day. I'm humbled and honored to be here, and I'm grateful for your leadership.
Mag 7 getting hit, Spy getting hit.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you heard,
I told you that 65 level,
Brad,
we're coming up on it.
The fact
Next
that
one
this
would be
bill
50.
got passed itself was a miracle, and it creates a platform for communities, for families, for corporations, for philanthropists to add to these accounts. And in not too many years, essentially every child in America will have savings invested in the greatest companies in this country. And that will change the face of this country over the next 10, 20, 30 years. We couldn't be more excited about this and the opportunity to make a difference. The best investment a country can make is in its people, especially in its children. And this creates an incredible platform for that to occur at enormous scale. And we're excited to see it all come together. Thank you all so much.
It looks like it's still down.
Those are two fantastic people, I can tell you that. I want to give a very special thanks to some of the CEOs here this morning. Vlad Tenev of Robinhood, what a job he's done. Where's Vlad? What a job you've done.
The boy from Bulgaria.
Young guy. Nice young guy, too.
Please donate to your local Leering Center.
Arjun Sethi of Kraken. Arjun, thank you very much, wherever you are. Thank you. Anthony Noto of SoFi Technologies. SoFi. Thank you very much.
They're reporting
Anthony.
earnings on Friday, SoFi.
These are the ones you read about, and Bill Ackman is here, Pershing Square, and Hock Tan of Broadcom, and so many others that if I name them, we'll be up here all day. But I just want to say that what a job you've all done. Incredible job. Everybody. Just about everybody in this room. Not everybody. I'm not in love with everybody, but a couple of them I don't like very much. But if they're here, I'm starting to like them a lot better because they're here for a very good reason. I'm officially calling on all employers all across America to follow the lead of many of these amazing companies and make matching Trump account contributions to benefit for the American worker, and they're going to benefit the American worker so much. This morning, I'm also pleased to announce that Visa is creating a brand new platform which will allow credit card holders to deposit their cashback rewards directly into Trump accounts. That's a big deal. Visa, thank you. Where's Visa? The head of Visa. Thank you very much, Visa. These initiatives could not come at a better moment because there's never been a better time to invest in the United States of America than right now. Who knew it would have happened this fast? I inherited a mess. We were a country that was laughed at a year and a half ago. We were laughed at. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world, nobody even close. So, who knew this was going to take place this quickly? Right, Michael? I didn't think it was going to go that fast. I knew we were going to do it, but I thought it would take a couple of years at least. Just a couple of days longer than the first year, so it's really amazing. And just this morning as I'm running out, I see the S&P 500 hit 7,000 for the first time ever.
Hell
So I
yeah.
say America is back. America is back. Since the election, the stock market has set 52 all-time record highs, adding $9 trillion in value. And $18 trillion of investment is pouring into the country. It's going to be higher than that. Just over 1 year ago, we were a country that lost its way. We were mocked and scorned, and every American child will now be and have access to something that is really incredible, and they can watch directly the economic boom that's taking place. This is a boom that's taking place, the likes of which we've really never seen. I don't think people get it yet. Not a lot of people, they don't get it. They don't see the thousands of businesses being built, the hundreds and hundreds of massive factories that are going up all over. But they're going to start to see it. They're starting to see it. I mean, if they're modestly intelligent, if they're very intelligent, they saw it about a year ago. With us today is Craig Smith, a fourth-generation family farmer and volunteer firefighter from Culpeper, Virginia, along with his wonderful wife, Heather. Craig and Heather have an 18-month-old son and a 1-month-old that they also welcomed just recently, twin boys. And they can't wait to activate Trump accounts for all 3 of their children this July 4th. Craig and Heather, do you want to come up here, Craig and Heather? Where are you, Craig and Heather? Come on up. Craig and Heather, come on up. Come on up. It meant so much to them. People write letters. Every once in a while you get a letter, it just hits you. Craig and Heather, come on up. Thank you. That's great. Wow, look at this family, huh? They're
Sorry,
a
I'm
rich
just
family
installing
now.
a bunch of viruses onto my computer.
The kids are richer than the parents. It's the way we want it. Thank you very much. Wow.
I just like doing viruses. Just fun.
We just want to thank President Trump for all of his hard work and dedication to American families and farm families like ours. Farming is not always easy, and sometimes margins are tight, so investments like this into our children really help us to buy diapers and formula and not have to worry about making financial decisions for them this early on. So thank you very much, President Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. So nice. Also joining us today is the Goins family from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Charlie works in manufacturing, and he's here with his wife, Savannah, his high school sweetheart. In 2022, Charlie and Savannah opened their home to foster care, really expecting to take in 1 child. But soon they were taken in.
We just cracked the
a family
overnight
of
low.
3 siblings.
That's
and
where I would be exiting if
formally
I still had a
adopted them.
short.
A short time later, Charlie and Savannah also welcomed a biological daughter. Trump accounts will give each of these children a much better start in life. And Charlie and Savannah, where are you? Are you down there? Do you want to come up? Come on up here, Charlie, real fast. We're holding up a lot of big business people. We can't hold them up. Michael will take back his donation. Say what? I want my money back. Come on up here. These are great families, but there's millions and millions of families that are going to be so amazed and so happy at what's taken place. Sort of a miracle, I think. Nice to see you. How are you? How are you? Oh, look at that. So nice. Hi. How are you?
Thank you, President Trump, for having my family and me here today. My wife and I have spent the better part of our adult lives working to advance children in our community, and it was our faith that first led us to open our home to foster care, and it was God's plan that allowed us, absolutely. And it was God's plan that allowed us to adopt 3 amazing children out of foster care, to welcome so many more, and of course, this past year, welcome our youngest daughter, Florence, into the world. It's through our experience that we've seen how opportunity, or the lack thereof, can really impact a child at the very beginning stages of their life before they even get a chance themselves. And that's why, my wife and I, along with some of the work that the First Lady is doing, we are working to help foster families, and foster and adoptive families, and personally in our state, with protections and support in our home state of Arkansas.
Getting an alert on PLTR
every child deserves
for it
hope,
breaking
stability,
down.
and a strong chance at a strong future. And for young families, especially like ours, that your first priorities are, of course, your diapers and your wipes and your car seats and all that stuff. And so starting and investing into a investment account is not necessarily on the top of the priority list. And we're so thankful to have this. And I think this sends a powerful message that this administration believes that financial opportunity can start early, that it is intentional, and that it can impact every single family. And my wife and I are so excited that this administration has placed families and children like ours at the forefront of economic policy. And we're so excited for the future of the children and for this country. Thank you.
That's a great job. I was wondering how much longer he could. Did you notice it? It's getting heavy. It's still 50 pounds or something, right? He said, how much longer
like
is that?
The child?
And finally,
it
broke loose. But you could see a loving father there, couldn't you, huh? The way he did that, right? Wasn't that a loving father? I watched that. He was grabbing.
Is tray of 8 down? Yes.
That's a
I'm
great
being
family.
told it is
Thank you
still
very
down.
much, both. Beautiful. So in conclusion, the ultimate success of the Trump accounts will be measured not just in the wealth created. It will be seen in young people buying houses that they could never have even dreamed of buying. It'll be seen in diplomas earned,
Almost
companies
at that target
founded,
of
families
65.
formed, and more babies born. It'll really be seen in something where you're given a chance. You're given a chance at life, a very good chance. Above all, the Trump accounts will help bring the hope and prosperity to every community that every community wants to see. And it'll bring back the American dream. The American dream is so beautiful. I would mention it all the time when I'm running. Whenever I run, I talk about the American dream because that's what we want to create. Others don't talk about it. But we have the American dream back, I think now, maybe better than ever before. For generations, Washington politicians have done nothing to take from the hardworking people of our country. They take and take. They do nothing but take.
Trade of 8's fine now.
They've made workers' lives harder, sent prices higher, pushed your dreams out of reach. And both parties, I mean, they didn't do the job that they were supposed to do. Some were fighting, and sometimes we fight
Get
against
reports that it
some of the
might
great
be working.
politicians we have here. They fight with me, most of them. And we fight to make things better. But we run into walls of other politicians that either don't want to do something or they almost feel like it's a destruction of our country. But now we're doing something much better than
like
giving the next generation a handout. We're giving them ownership of America's future so that they can grow up, chart their own destiny, and make our nation greater and stronger and better than ever before. So I just want to thank all of the people that participated today, the great business leaders, the great celebrities, and all of the people that are in this room. You've done so much. And I just want to also give a little bit of a shout out to a lot of great politicians that are right now voting on some very important measures, plus the politicians in this room. They have really worked hard on this. This is something that it's amazing that it got done. If you knew the political process, it was very complex, very hard to get done, to get all of those votes together. But we did it, and it's going to be great for America. And Brad and Michael, thank you both very much. Special, special people. Thank you very much. And God bless everybody in the room, and God bless America. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, looks like kids are getting some investment accounts. Kind of interesting. I'm getting reports that Trade-Evate is back to functioning properly. So just want to throw that out there to all of you. I don't know if you're still trying to trade today, if you're waiting for FOMC, if you're taking the day off, but it does look like my Trade-Evate data is finally coming through. So wanted to share that. If you're trying to get an Apex account, code Goonie, 90% off, all in around 97. On TPT, same thing, code Goonie, all in is going to be about like 102. So they're pretty much the same thing. You could get up to 20 accounts on Apex, up to 5 accounts on TPT. So what is free though is the FOMC. So if you use code FOMC, those 4 letters on the final checkout page, that's how you can get into the Goonie Trading Discord for free. If you're curious what it's about, great. You have an entire month to test it out. If you like it, great, stay around. If you don't, just make sure to cancel your account within the first month and you're never going to get charged. Please be careful of that. Set an alert on your calendar, do whatever you have to, but there are no refunds. I just want to call that out there right now. But anyway, when you're checking out at the final stage on Stripe, there's a coupon code section. Put in FOMC. It's for today. I think technically it expires this weekend, but it's for today. So I just want to call that out. Code FOMC. You could join for free. See what it's like to swing options with me. 0 DT options. Day trading futures, education videos, market, explainers and analysis every single morning. Lots of cool stuff going on there. And then when things are boring, just some good conversation with the community of traders in the middle portion of the day. Folks, that's what I have for you right now. I will be back today. We're streaming at 2 p.m. So I'm going to see you in 2 hours. It's time to go get a cup of coffee, grab a little bit of lunch. We're going to be streaming just before 2 p.m. for the FOMC Fed interest rate decision. And then Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, will be speaking at 2:30. And then right after market close, you have some big earnings, Meta, Microsoft, who else? Tesla, Lam Research, and IBM. All reporting after the market closes today. So we're going to take a little bit of a break right now, get lunch, get coffee, and I'll see you guys back at like 1:45 or something like that. Big stuff coming this afternoon. So I see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for all the good vibes. Catch you soon.